What's up, guys? Welcome to Hive Mind episode 3. We now have timestamps in the description. I go and listen to the podcast and, put down the timestamps for all the topic changes. If people wanted that, it's annoying as fuck. You guys better use that shit. It's fucking really annoying to do that.
Zybek's doing some work over here.
So definitely use that if you're interested. Honestly, what I'd recommend you do is just listen to us while you play video games, so you don't miss the stuff in between. Because if you use the timestamps, you probably will miss some good shit. So it's there if you want it. Whatever.
Yep.
All right. So did you hear about Blizzard and that Stormbuddy bot? This is a pretty crazy story.
Is this like a World of Warcraft thing?
No, it's a Heroes of the Storm thing, which is why I figured you'd maybe know about that Stormbuddy bot.
Stormbuddy bot.
Okay, so
I can't even imagine what the hell this is going to be about.
I'm not super familiar with what the bot does. I think the bot is for playing against the NPCs. That's what I saw it marketed as. It's got like a 90% win ratio against NPCs.
Yeah.
And it's the same people that made Honor Buddy, that bot. It's the same company. And they call it Stormbuddy. And Blizzard has sued Honor Buddy in the past. I think the company is called Bossland, and they've sued them in the past. And what's interesting is Blizzard sued Bossland and lost. And then, when they banned like 1 million WoW accounts for botting, do you remember seeing that news story?
I remember I was playing at that time when you would go into the battleground and like all of your opponents would all of them
they'd all be bots.
They'd all be running in the same path and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. What was interesting is when Blizzard lost that court case, which is crazy that they lost, which kind of it set a precedent, like a precedent for a precedent. I can't say that word. I said president like a fucking retard. Anyway, it's interesting that they lost, and then Blizzard went and banned 1 million accounts or whatever for cheating. I guess that was like a vindictive thing they did because they lost. But anyway, now they're back at it for round 2 with Stormbuddy. But this time they did something much more interesting. So Blizzard can't seem to crack the code with this bot maker. Like they just can't seem to figure it out and ban these people. So what they did is they went and essentially paid off one of the underling developers to give the source code for Stormbuddy over to them. Like they did it under the table, which is super fucking illegal. It's corporate espionage. That's like they really fucking broke the law. And it's going to be interesting to see if Bossland sues Blizzard now.
Yeah.
Because that's really fucking illegal. That would be like you being the engineer for some crazy, like for Microsoft or some shit, and then giving up the code to Apple because they paid you 50 grand under the table. Like, obviously, you can't fucking do that shit.
Well, I wouldn't accept 50 grand.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
Much more than, yeah, I know.
But that's what they did. They went and they made a deal with some other guy, some random that was working on the code, and he sold them out. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Where'd you hear about this?
It was on Reddit. I saw it on the gaming subreddit, and I read into it more on the Heroes of the Storm subreddit. And it's funny that everybody's like, yeah, fuck those bot makers, like fuck those faggots. And I agree. I definitely agree that shit ruins the fucking game. But Blizzard did something that's really bad. That's really fucking illegal what they did. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I think Bossland is going to sue him and probably win just because the precedent's already been set that, that's not copyright infringement. Because I don't know, the way I see it is it's kind of like making a modification for a car, like an aftermarket modification. Like instead of buying the GM spoiler, you go and buy some third-party spoiler that's not the manufacturer brand. I don't know. I kind of see bots the same way. But obviously, they're bad for the game. But still, it's kind of crazy that Blizzard can't, this Bossland company has been giving them such a hard time. Honor Buddy's been around forever.
I think that there will be a way for Blizzard to argue from a different angle as they did last time. Whatever the hell they were arguing last time. But it's all, the court cases are all about what you're arguing. So
Dude, I don't think they're gonna. I think if Bossland goes after him, I think they're fucked. Like they They fucked up. Like that's horrible what they did.
Well, if this is absolutely true and not just a bunch of people on Reddit saying like I heard because this
I
and
don't
that,
know. That's what Bossland said. Bossland said that's what happened. So I mean, I guess who knows how believable they are. But I wouldn't doubt it.
If they are actually telling the truth, then they will sue Blizzard.
I don't doubt. So what I think they did is Blizzard realized that it would be much easier to do something illegal and bite the bullet and get sued and probably have to pay a shitload of money, but destroy the bot in the process. They probably did some sort of risk assessment and realized that that was the cheaper way to deal with this than to actually go through the legal trouble of trying to shut this shit down, because they obviously can't shut them down on a technical side. For whatever reason, those guys that make those buddy bots are like programming gods, and it took them, whatever, Honor Buddy's been rampant for years, and they finally banned people, a few months ago, like for the first time really ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, my perspective is that if Bossland is telling the truth when they report and say, oh yeah, they did corporate espionage, that's why we're getting shut down and whatever. If they're telling the truth, they will sue. If they're saying that and it's not true and they're just saying that to get attention or to garner sympathy, they will not sue. So that's basically the perspective I have on it.
I think it's legit, honestly. Well, I mean, because they took the bot offline and everything, and I feel like it's legit just because they've been around for so long. Like if this was just some rando bot company, like these guys are legit in terms of botting.
Yeah.
So
because Blizzard can shut down like 90% of people who create their own bots and all this other shit. Yeah.
But and these bots are crazy, like advanced. With like some of the things they do, like they can level your character from 1 to 100 now or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know some people use them in PvP to do like interrupt hacking and automate entire things of the game completely. It's pretty ridiculous how good they've gotten. So I just thought that was an interesting way to lead off the podcast. I didn't know if you knew anything about it since you played Heroes of the Storm.
I did not hear about that, but the real problem here isn't the people who make the bots. It's the lazy douches who are like, oh, I there's no way I could spend time actually playing the game.
It's definitely partly because the people make the bots, but
sure. I mean, and granted, they've made like a super bot that like is apparently undetectable. So
they must have some they have bots for Diablo. They do bots for all kinds of games too. So they must be fucking legit and have some like serious skilled people over there to pull that off.
Oh man, and they're making money too.
Oh yeah, I think it's a subscription-based thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I hate to hear about that kind of stuff because, like, as a guy who plays Heroes of the Storm every single day, I understand why that would kind of suck for the people who are playing PvE matches, because I play PvE matches in Heroes to get my dailies done so I can get gold, mostly just because I have the time to do it, and by the time they release a new hero, I have at least 15,000 gold anyway. So because I'm cheap and I don't like pay for the heroes and stuff, sometimes I don't even get them if I'm not interested in them. But I can see how that would ruin people like myself who play, or just even a more casual person. Because if you're playing with a bot, see, in Heroes, if somebody backs out of the game, a bot takes its place. And it'll change its name from, Zyback to Jaina or whoever the hell. That's how you know it's a bot. And those bots are stupid. They have this like, pardon the pun, they have a hive mind mentality because they'll all just go right into like the top lane and just go, raw, your opponent's bots will. But the bot that is replaced by a player, excuse me, has the same mentality. They're just going to go, oh, I'm going to go this way and that way. And it's just like, there's a way to manipulate them because you can tell them where to go. But I can see. And now, if they actually have the bot working in the PvP environment, then you're going to see it bleed into the ranked match environments. Yeah, you think people are lazy enough to play against PvE? Yeah, right. They're going to pay that money to get high ranking. If this bot bleeds into the ranked match system in Heroes of the Storm, that's gonna suck. So I don't blame Blizzard at all for trying to shut these.
Apparently, I don't know if this is the same company that does it. I wouldn't be surprised, but apparently there's Hearthstone bots that play Hearthstone literally perfectly, and people have gotten. And it makes sense because if you think of a game like Hearthstone, it really is like if it's like all mathematical and shit. Like if I have this card, then there's a certain % chance that this will happen. I don't play Hearthstone. But that's how all card games are like that, and can be reduced down to thinking in that way. So it's interesting to see that people have botted Hearthstone to the top of the ladder. Like Hearthstone is that rigid that you can make a bot for it that will literally play the game for you.
Yeah.
And
this is why.
Yeah.
This is why I'm on Blizzard's side in all this. I don't care if they did that, and like you said, they're like a risk assessment sort of deal. That a lot of people start to think that they think that Blizzard can do no wrong in my eyes. No, that's not true. But I don't want to log into a Blizzard property and then have there just be like mostly bots out there, because that's what people are doing.
I'm going to challenge you on that. I don't think Blizzard can do no wrong thing.
What? No, I don't think that they can do no wrong. People tend to think that I believe they can.
I worded that wrong. I mean, I'm going to tell you something that's probably going to piss you off here in a second. But continue.
Okay, that's fine.
Continue.
No, and so I'm on their side in this.
Okay.
Get risk assessment done. Figure your shit out.
So this is literally the same topic, pretty much. So Blizzard caught a bunch of people cheating in WoW, hacking, fly hacking, in arenas, in PvP, literally hacking the fucking game. And you know what they did? They really showed these fucking hackers. They hit them with one of the fucking gnarliest 72-hour bans of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Blizzard, that real hard stance on cheating. 72-hour ban for fly hacking. What the fuck is that shit? Like, that's a joke.
That's really stupid.
That's a fucking joke. People are pissed. Like, I don't keep up with WoW that much, but I have people like pinging me on Skype like, you gotta talk about this shit. The fucking Russian fly hackers got banned for only 72 hours. That's unreal. So I think like Blizzard honestly brings it on themselves a little bit too with this shit with botting, because I know back in Classic and BC, and really I think in Wrath they kind of softened up on this, but people wouldn't buy gold. Yeah, sure, a lot of people bought gold and they got away with it, but a lot of people were scared to buy gold because if you bought gold, you would be permabanned, like first offense. There was no like taking away the gold or getting a warning or any of that shit back in the day. You just got fucking banned, like perma, insta, first offense. I'm sure you remember that shit.
Mm-hmm.
When you played, like everybody was too scared, like, oh, I don't want to risk my account. I've got all these days play. And now people just rampantly fucking cheat everywhere, and if you get caught botting in Battlegrounds, they give you a fucking warning first, and you have to do it like 1,000,000 times to even get a 6-month suspension. And if you buy gold, you get a warning, and if you continue to buy gold, they might take the gold away, maybe. Like, they've softened up like crazy on the punishment. So, of course, people are going to use the bots.
I think it's a matter of, when the game first came out back in, like, when it released, they probably cared a lot more about the property, and they're like, we don't want any of this to get sullied. People are already screwing around, buying gold and doing these, like, bot shit and hacking or whatever. And it was more prestige for them to keep the property alive. Now it's like 10 years later almost, or it's 11 years later, and we're sitting there going, well, maybe Blizzard just doesn't really, like, they don't take a hard stance on it because people are going to play anyway. They know that. But they don't want, like, people botting, But again, it goes back to them being able to do something about it. If they can't do anything about
fly hacking and literally hacking the fucking game and only getting 72-hour bans, that is fucking retarded.
Oh, I'm not agreeing with
the way
I know Blizzard's doing it. I'm just thinking that...
But I think at some point it's just like, really? That's not sullying the game enough for you guys to give a fuck?
I mean, if you had a bunch of people flying around, or whatever.
Oh, dude, cheating is rampant as fuck in rated battlegrounds and arenas, apparently, right now. It's, like, horrible.
Okay, so if it's that mega rampant and they're only getting 72-hour ban.
Dude, did you hear about what happened at BlizzCon?
No.
They literally disqualified a team, like 3 teams or some shit, at BlizzCon during the regionals. Like, the people were at the fucking event. And they said, sorry, you can't play, you're banned. I swear to God.
Did they ban them, like, in the middle of the match for doing
something? They got
something?
banned for account sharing and boosting other people. And the ban happened as they were getting ready to play the game. So they were in, like, the first, like, it was a best of 3, and they had just finished the first game. And then they got banned.
That's a little stupid.
They flew them out to the event. And fucking they got banned. And it didn't just happen to one team. It happened to, like, multiple teams throughout the entire tournament where people would just get disqualified.
Yeah, in that specific instance, that sounds a little stupid for them to be like, "Oh, come on, we'll come out and you qualified for the tournament." It's like getting hired at a really well-paying job, and then they're like, you don't need to take a piss test or anything. But then they go in they check their match history or their account history and what they've been doing while they're playing the matches.
It was pretty ridiculous. And it's crazy that the cheating in WoW has gotten like so rampant that like almost all of the top players are doing boosts and stuff. Like no one's really innocent anymore. Sure, they might not be using fly hacks and the interrupt hacking and DPS. Like apparently there's Warlock bots that put up multi-dotting, like they do multi-dotting literally perfectly, to where like you'll see a Warlock do like 10 bajillion fucking damage because he's perfectly doing all of his dots on 10 targets simultaneously that no human could fucking do.
Oh, wow.
But then the top players go and do boosts. And I can honestly sympathize with that because I mean, if you're in the position to where you can make $800 in fucking 2 hours playing WoW arenas, of course you're gonna do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you're right. Most of the top people do it as a part-time gig. I mean,
oh yeah, it is fucking amazing money because they just fucking they make so much money so fast, and there's such a very few amount of people that have that skill set to be able to do that.
Yeah, and they have to work as a team, so you're not paying for one guy. You're paying
I can't talk shit about that because I did that a little bit in the past. Now that cat's out of the bag, but
well, I mean, you're gonna get banned when you go to BlizzCon.
Yeah,
they're not gonna let you in the door.
Oh, my BlizzCon days are over. I can't compete at that global level anymore. That's why I stopped playing WoW.
Because all the bots and hackers and boosters out there,
I just didn't want to go. That's why I didn't go to BlizzCon, guys. It's not that I couldn't qualify. It's just that I knew I was going to get banned for doing all those boosts back in the day. Yeah. Anyway, you want to pitch anything, or do you want to just keep?
So here's the thing that I learned recently, like yesterday, and I feel like an idiot because I should have known about this, but Rocket League, right? Yep. I thought it was like if you have the PS4 copy, you play on the PSN network, and if you have a PC copy, you play on the PC servers. I just assumed that they were separate servers. But yesterday, I learned that Rocket League is all on one server. It doesn't matter if you're playing on. Yeah, and so I got a little notification on Steam today, and it said like, oh, one of your wish list games is on sale, and I'm like, well, it can't be Just Cause 3. So I go in there, and it's Rocket League. So I just got Rocket League for like $13, and it's installed. I'm going to play after this podcast is over. But I thought that was amazing because I've been watching streams. Some of the people that I watch them stream like multiple games stream Rocket League, and it looks like this amazingly fun game.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Yeah, I am really into it now because it's an awesome thing to be able to do. I guess this is more of like a me thing. I'm personally excited to stream Rocket League because then you can create private matches and be like, hey, if you guys want to join and da. So I think that's great.
I think I hope that game takes off as an esport because I think that game is the perfect esport because it's something that you can watch and never have played it and still know what's going on and still enjoy watching it. Yeah. That's the biggest problem with esports right now is having it be fun to watch for somebody who doesn't know the game perfectly.
Right.
And that's
like StarCraft 2 for me is like that, where I'm like, I kind of get what's going on, but I don't know what all of the units are and what they do and what they can do. So I understand like the beginning of the game where you're like mining shit. I'm like, and then the first time you build a building, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on now.
But Rocket League is absolutely perfect for that. And there's so many good competitive games that just falter because you just have to know so much to spectate them. And what's funny about, I keep bringing WoW Arena up, but like, there's literally only a very small group of people that can commentate WoW Arenas, and it's always like literally only the best players currently in WoW Arena can commentate it because it's like so much shit going on, so many intricate things that Blizzard just said fuck it and just got like a bunch of rank 1s to start commentating WoW Arenas because no one else can fucking do it. And I feel like I had a pretty good mindset, like when I used to be really into that. I feel like I had a pretty good idea what was going on, but even I would still miss shit and go, what the fuck? Like this shit just goes so fast and so many different, 6 people doing all tons of different things, and it's not a good esport. Like
the shoutcasting is all about being focused on like the meta of what's happening. So like, oh, if the healer's being attacked, you know.
Yeah, but those guys that commentate WoW are truly pretty fucking amazing to be able to pick up what they do, like to be able to like notice all that shit. Because I fucking don't. That's for sure. I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine like the people that don't know shit about arenas. They probably watch just the health bars and go, dude. Yeah. I don't get it.
The Guild Wars 2 watching Guild Wars 2 PvP and the Shoutcasters. The Shoutcasters do a great job. They make it more entertaining, but that game still suffers from the what the fuck is going on syndrome, because it's like, you know, half the spells are like circles and you're like, okay, what's that do? What's this? What's torment do? Because you can shoutcast, oh, he's got the torment or whatever the fuck, 29 stacks of torment. But if you don't know what the hell it does, then you're just like, okay, you know. But yeah, like, you know, Rocket League. I just think it's gonna be stupid fun. I want to learn how to fly through the air and do fun shit.
Yeah, people do really cool stuff in that game.
I have not had a fun game to play in so long. I mean, Fallout 4 is great and everything, and I love making videos for it, but just something I can log into and be like, woo! Yay! And just like do whatever the hell I want, and then whatever.
It's one of those, like,
no one's gonna get mad at me because I did poorly. It's rocket cars with a giant soccer ball.
I feel like that's one of those games where, like, if you're like a little tired and not really feeling that great, but you're bored and you want to burn an hour, like that's like the game for it. Whereas like with Fallout, you're like, I don't want to do this because I feel like I'll waste it. I'll waste some of the story or something when I'm not paying attention.
The thing with Fallout is, I streamed Fallout, I think on Tuesday midnight, Wednesday, whatever, and I was like, I'm only gonna stream for like an hour, guys. I just want to do, you know, a little bit. 1 hour turned into 5.
Yeah, that's
and
how it
everyone
goes.
was watching. They were just like, I said like, okay, after this area we clear this out or whatever the hell's over here, then I'm done. And that was at hour 3. And then some guy, everyone's like, yeah, okay, he's gonna find something and go fuck with it. And I did. I found like a military thing, and I was like, I gotta go check this out. And then it just turns into another 2 hours. So. But yeah, I'm excited to play Rocket League.
Yes.
And I'm waiting to be able to save up to get Just Cause 3, because that game is another game that just looks like stupid fun. Just like,
that game
grapple hook in.
Ridiculous.
You put a grapple hook in a video game, I'm fucking there. I love that shit.
Yeah, I haven't streamed or I haven't done any streaming in a really long time, and I'll kind of be honest, I don't really miss it that much. I never really got into streaming a whole lot anyway. I just never thought I was very good at it.
I like the reactions, the things that happen, because like in my perfect world, I would record myself playing Fallout 4 the whole time I'm playing, because there's just shit will happen there are moments that are just so great, and I don't have the technology to do that, and I don't have the money to get the technology to do it. But streaming allows me to, you know, I have those because Twitch saves the stream. Granted, it's in poo-poo quality when I get my hands on it, but that's fine. Moments will happen, and that's great. But I love the fact that just shit will happen in the streams, and it's not guaranteed, but, you know.
Yeah, that is a fun thing about streaming, where you do have those moments. See, I've been YouTubing for so long that pretty much all the times I'm playing a video game, I'm recording it. But, dude, yeah, the streaming does pick up some crazy shit. One time when I was streaming WildStar back when I was doing the fucking 18-hour-a-day grind, when that game first came out, I was playing, and this is when I lived in Chattanooga, and they had these crazy fucking thunderstorms over there. It's wildest shit ever. But lightning struck so close to my house that it cut my fucking keyboard off and like my monitors off, but it didn't cut my computer off. And it was like and it was so loud. It was so fucking loud and so bright through the windows that like my entire face lit up, and the crackle was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And everybody on my stream was like, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there and I'm trying to move out of the shit that's happening in the game, but my keyboard is off because it cut off randomly for like 20 seconds and then randomly cut back on. It was one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Why it cut my keyboard and monitors off, but not my computer. That's a very weird thing.
I imagine that experience would be rather often if you were like a Palestinian guy and you're like, I'm streaming tonight.
Oh shit, another
like,
drone strike.
Boom! You're like, don't worry about that. That's just, you know, drones happens every day. The keyboard's not working. What the fuck?
Good times.
But I like it. I want to get really into it, and I've been working on like overlays for, you know, if I'm gonna play a game, I'm gonna have like a little overlay so that like looks a little cleaner and stuff like that. Any kind of Photoshop fun I can do to sort of make the stream more interesting is always interesting to me. But
yeah, I never messed around with any overlays or any of that. Sorry, yeah. I cut you off. Go ahead.
That's all right. Growing the stream though is a thing that I'm going to have to learn how to figure out how to do, because I can tell people to the moon, "Hey, I'm streaming," and like only 25 people show up. So, but I'm patient enough to do it well.
Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it as much as I could with YouTube. I guess just because I like with YouTube how I've got this timeline of videos. I like your vlog channel for that too. Like you could literally go back in time 3 years in your vlog channel, and it's kind of interesting to see like your perspective on, for example, like WildStar before it came out. Like I remember watching one of your vlogs, and you were talking, and you had like the 1 year delay or whatever from where you were doing it on Patreon or whatever. Mm-hmm. And one of your vlogs came out talking about WildStar before it came out, but it was just uploaded recently.
Oh yeah.
Not like recently as of today, but like public. Recently as of the time that it happened. But I just thought it was interesting to watch that. What the hell was that? Did you hear that? One of my video. I had a video rendering in the background apparently. Oh shit! I hope. Whatever. I just thought it was interesting that have that perspective of like you're talking about WildStar and you're like, yeah, you said something about like I hope they have a lot of casual content and not just raids.
Oh yeah, sure.
So some shit along the lines of that, and I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, that'd be good. But I'm sitting there a year in the future going, yeah, this game would be great if that's casual content, because I'm sitting here doing these raids and all these people are quitting because there isn't any casual content. Oh, yep. Poor WildStar. Poor WildStar.
Everybody wants me to talk, not talk about, but like get into a game called Blade & Soul.
Oh my god!
And I've seen. I at first was like, I heard about it like a year ago because it's like, oh, it's in development. And I was like, whatever. It's going to be one of those games that's in development for like a long time, and then when it comes out, it's going to have like no real.
I think that game has been out for a while in Korea, right?
It's in closed beta. It launches the 19th of January.
Yeah, but I think maybe I'm getting it mixed up with another game, but I thought that Blade & Soul game had been out for a while in another region. I could be mixing it up with another game though.
Yeah, it's probably like launches in America, because they did have on their Twitch page. They did have a world tournament or some shit that happened in the recent past. So it might just be like Russia only or something. I don't know. But people have been bringing it up, and they're like, well, Blade & Soul looks fun. And from what I see, which is they don't show me a lot, but what I see is it just seems like a very solid game, but in a sense that like Rocket League, you can play it and be like, whatever. And Blade & Soul is like, you just log onto that whatever hero, and then you play, and then nothing happens. You know, it doesn't have that. I don't know why people tend to think that I'm the kind of MMO player that wants to play a game where you log in as Kruger, the guy with the big sword, and then you don't get any loot. There's no upgrades to your gear. Your gear physically doesn't change.
Those Asian MMOs are just fucking weird, man.
People, you have to understand, it's made by NC Soft. I fucking hate them because they ruined Guild Wars 2, okay? But then all their other games are shit too. If you like them, play them. But
dude, when did Lineage 2 come out? They make so much goddamn money off Lineage 2. God. Like, when did that game come out? Like 2001 or some shit?
2000 Lineage 2?
Yeah, Lineage 2.
I thought it came out in 2014.
I'm gonna have to Google it. Lineage 2.
And I've also heard that it is very successful.
No, Lineage 2 came out in 2003.
Really? Okay.
Dude, and that's their biggest moneymaker. Whenever I looked at the NC Soft earnings or whatever, Lineage 2 coming in hot with like 80% of their like net income or something.
And there's probably a lot to there's probably a lot to like about Lineage 2. Unfortunately, I
think it's just popular over in Asia.
RPG means something to me. Like, Final Fantasy is a property. When I play Final Fantasy, I expect to feel like I'm playing Final Fantasy, okay? So, if I get a new weapon, I expect to see what that weapon looks like in my hand. Now, in Final Fantasy, if you get new armors and stuff, none of that really changes. But it's the stats, Yeah. But if I'm playing an MMORPG, I better fucking see, I got a new shoulder piece. It better change. The model, it better change.
WildStar is horrible about that.
What?
WildStar was horrible about that.
Yeah,
You'd get a new sword and it would literally be the same model, not even a recolor. Just the same fucking model.
Yeah. And later levels you would get like armor and whatever. But that's what I like about MMOs. I like treasure hunting. I like adventure. None of this shit appeals to me. And stop thinking that it appeals to me, because it doesn't. It's like, oh, you're gonna log in and what's that fucking shit? I forgot what it's called even.
Yeah.
There's a Triforge.
Triforce? Like Zelda?
Starforge.
I don't know.
No. It's a fucking my.games or mygames.com game.
I don't know.
It's not a website game, but in that game you get to like pick an outfit, so like what your armor and helmet and gloves and shoulders and everything all look like, and then you get a sword, and that sword never changes, and it's just like, why? You put all this money into this game, but you don't let me live vicariously through my character when I get new items. That it irritates me, and it seems to be a trend now because all these MMOs are coming out of Asia, and so it's like, okay.
Yeah, the free to play shit I think is, I hate that pay to play is dying off for MMOs, because I feel like a lot of that is because of the free to play model. They just don't want to give away like too many skins or too many of the awesome things that used to be in games, because they want to sell them on the fucking cash shop.
Yes. And again, Guild Wars 2 is the perfect model for having a pay-to-play game that offers you skins. But unfortunately, after you go through the numerous dungeons and you're done and you don't have to do them anymore because you have the armor that you wanted to get for your transmog or whatever, that's it. Now, if you put new shit in for me to do, then I will continue to play the game. But when I log into Guild Wars 2 on my server, it's dead.
Yeah, I wonder how many people work at ArenaNet on Guild Wars 2. It makes me wonder, considering how long it takes them to get like real content out and how little of it there actually is when they do put it out. I
would say a few hundred people at max.
Dude, a few hundred, that's a lot. A few hundred would be like 300. That's a lot of development. That's like more than WoW, I think.
Well, I would.
It might be like 50. Maybe,
whatever the expectation is for the number of people that should be working on it, I would say it is 1/3 that number.
Yeah.
Because they still work on Guild Wars 1 as well. So it's like,
really?
Yeah.
Like, do they actually put out like real content for it?
I don't know what kind of content, but they still have the game is up and running. I mean,
I can understand the game still being up and running, but them not like patching it anymore and giving it real
they've
updates.
Obviously got to patch it, so they've got to do something. But I don't know.
Maybe there's been other MMOs that were just like they just kept the servers up because people still played them, but they didn't update them. So I don't know what the situation is with Guild Wars 1. I was actually going to ask you that, I think on the last podcast, if you knew anything about that.
No, I don't know anything about it because I never played it. But
I played Guild Wars 1 for a little bit. My brother and I got it, and I remember when Guild Wars 1 came out, they had that cape animation they had back in the day. It was like the shit. Like, they had guild capes. Is that a thing in Guild Wars 2?
No, and everyone who plays Guild
Wars 2. What the fuck?
2,
That was like the coolest shit ever.
That was like their version of tabards in World of
Warcraft. That was so sick.
Yeah. So
why did they take that out? Those
because
fucking idiots.
Their answers were always that the clipping with the different models would be too hard to work around. Because now you can play as Char and you can all these other different models or these races that we couldn't play as before, and so it would be like awkward. And I'm like,
whatever.
Get it done, Everyone loved. And the other thing was my experience with Guild Wars 2, because I was going into the game, I was like, I'm gonna have a guild. It's gonna be casual guild because you can be in multiple guilds in that game, and I liked it because if you wanted to join, if you wanted to hop over to the Get Create Guild and just fuck around, you weren't expected to show up anywhere because we didn't do anything. But we had a lot of members, and I remember like 6-7 months in, a lot of these guys were the top opinion was, I'm going back to Guild Wars 1 because I don't like this. And I'm like, okay. You're the Guild Wars experts. I'm not. Keep that in mind. So, but yeah, capes.
Those capes were fucking sick.
Yeah. They replaced them with guild weapons that had your guild emblem on them, and they were the ugliest fucking thing. So no one would ever get them because they would cost, they'd cost a resource that was hard to get anyway. And it was like,
the thing I always thought was funny about Guild Wars 2 is they call it Guild Wars, but there's no need to have a guild and there's no fucking wars. because there is no fucking PvP. Oh.
Yeah. It's almost like you should rename it to like Tyria, a world beyond or something, because it's like it's a giant planet. Like a lot of the map, we haven't even seen a majority of the planet yet.
And you won't for another 5 fucking years at this development rate.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, with World of Warcraft, like we saw, you know, the 2 continents, and we know where everything is right away, right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, we know Northrend's up there, but whatever, and we don't, you know, we know the Maelstrom. But this game is like, it's got that interest of like, what the fuck is over there? Because Cantha is like this Asian type of city or whatever, and like we can't go there, but we've seen people from there visit like where we are now, and it's like, oh, what about this and that? And like, heaven forbid any of the people who are a part of the ArenaNet system who are interviewed to talk about the game say anything interesting about the future development of the game, because they don't. They're just like, no.
I know. Somebody told me that they were doing a big like esports push, which is like kind of hilarious now.
They're pushing it, but good fucking luck.
Yeah.
I mean, your esport only appeals to the people who really like your game. Unfortunately, you're not going to have much of an esports audience. Shit.
It fucking sucks.
Take out that fucking downstate and I will play that game. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, that's gross. I just think it's funny that, dude, the esports shit has got to go. Like the whole pump, not for every game obviously, but like every game trying to be a fucking esport now, I think is really hurting video games in general. I've talked about this in the past, where it's just like every single game that comes out, no matter what it is, they have to push fucking esports and try to make their game the next esport instead of it just making it a fun game first. Which is kind of why I like Crowfall, because they're like, listen, motherfuckers, the classes probably aren't going to be balanced, but they're going to be unique and they're not going to be homogenized.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yay! They're not making like we're not making this game for esports. They came out and said that shit. And they're like, yay! A fucking sandbox MMO where crazy shit happens.
And who knows? It could become an esport just based on the fact that
I doubt it with Crowfall. But
I
mean,
if there's a demand for anything,
WoW, but yeah.
I mean, like I said, if there's a demand for anything, it's going to happen. I mean,
yeah. If there's competitive Hearthstone,
before esports was even a thing. You know, they coined it esports because people wanted to see these tournaments. Mass numbers of people wanted to watch. So if Crowfall is fun and it's entertaining to watch, and you can monetize it somehow and do something, then it'll be fun, and that's fine. It's fine if the giants can crush, you know, the little tiny elf people, and it's not homogenized. That's fine. We love that.
Yeah, I just know from what they've said from the ground up, they're like, yeah, we're not making this an esport. Because, like, it's, like, pretty bonkers. Like, there's a class that can dig fucking holes in the ground and, like, tunnels and shit. Mm-hmm. And there's, like, another class that has wings and can glide. Like, it's that kind of, like, non-homogenization of, like, little gopher fucks that have shovels that can dig. Like, that's like a... I don't know. That's not just like, oh, this guy's got an ability that has a bleed on it. Oh, and this guy can go into stealth. It's, like, a little bit, like, crazier than that.
Yeah, I've been looking at it too since you've had such a high enthusiasm for it, and I've seen some of the stuff, and it's interesting enough.
It's the gameplay right now, like in terms of like what people are testing, isn't that great, but they've only really been working on the game for a short period of time. They've got a full year until it comes out, so for what the game's vision is, I think they've got plenty of time, because the game isn't that grandiose in terms of scale. They're just trying to build like the tools for a crazy PvP only game to happen. So I think they'll do well, just because they're not designing all of the, like when a typical MMO gets built, they build all these quests and zones and worlds and all that shit, all that dungeons and raids and all that fucking content. It's just not going to be there in Crowfall. They're just building a world generator, and then they're making like sandbox elements for people to do whatever the fuck happens kind of thing.
Yeah, and you know there's an attraction for sandbox stuff because of games like DayZ.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, that's fine. My perspective on the whole idea of games thinking that they're going to become esports, I think that the way that they are trying to process it internally is, well, it'll be an esport, but only for the number of people who will enjoy the game. And I think esports, as a definition, is not, it doesn't just cover the 500 people who play your game. It covers the audience of people who may not play your game, who will watch your esport. So a lot of these people, I think that's the way that they're thinking, like Guild Wars 2 or any game, Blade and Soul, for example. They're like, well, it'll be an esport, but it won't be watched by a lot. It's kind of like, oh, we'll play a football game. Me and you will film it. It's a sport.
Really.
We did it, but it's like nobody fucking saw it. So it's like, whatever. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Nah. All right. Here, let me look at my topic list. I think we beat the fuck out of that one.
Setback has a topic list, guys. Did you know that?
Yeah, I got it on my phone. I didn't even write this shit down.
This stuff isn't just coming out the top of his head. You know what I mean?
Somebody wanted us to talk about the Star Wars movie, and we didn't talk about that.
We can talk about the Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I'm not like a massive Star Wars fan, but I'm still like, I was at work one day and I was bored and I read like the wiki of a whole bunch of bullshit, so I'm like halfway there. Are you gonna see it? Like, I'm
gonna see it, but I'm probably gonna see it the second, like the next day after the first.
Yeah, I'm not
release.
Gonna go battle that shit either.
I'm gonna go to a matinee in the middle of the fucking day, and there will be people there, but there won't be like a jillion people there, and hopefully there won't be anybody coming with their tiny children. Like every time I've gone to a film,
dude, you might not even be able to make it on the matinee, man. Depending on where you live, I don't know. I don't know how crazy the city is.
No, but it's the Star Wars movie. Even where I live, they're going to have it here.
Well, they're no, I'm not saying that. I just know that a lot of theaters are staying open 24/7 for like a week straight because there's going to be so many fucking people coming to see this thing.
They're not going to do that here where I live. There's no market for that.
That's why I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll make a matinee, and I will watch it. And I believe it'll be a good movie.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be good.
The prequels. Let's just be honest. Even if you're not that into Star Wars, it's very, very well known that the prequel movies suck balls.
Yeah,
they are boring.
I do think they got better with. I think they actually did get better. Episode 1 was fucking trash, though. That shit was garbage. But I think Episode 3, a lot of Episode 3 was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the Anakin going to the dark side part, I think they fucking nailed that shit. I think that shit was pretty on point. But, yeah. Dude, Episode 1 was just... Oh my god, it's so bad.
but we all know that when you start your trilogy off with Anakin Skywalker as a little tiny kid, you know that 2 and 3, when it comes to him, is going to be the whole fucking trilogy is a story arc for the one character. Yeah, there's other shit going on, like Jar Jar Binks running around stepping in Dookie.
Did you see the Jar Jar Binks Sith Lord thing?
Yeah, that's what people. It's a like little fan.
Dude, that would be crazy as fuck if they actually pulled that shit off in Episode 3, because like all the hate Jar Jar Binks got through Episodes 1 and 2, and for him to actually be like a pivotal part of the story and like mind fuck people, that'd be so funny if that.
Are you talking about the third film of this new trilogy?
Yeah, the third film of the older ones, like Episode 3. Like if in Episode 3 it turned out that Jar Jar Binks really was behind the whole thing.
Oh.
And like all the hate that people gave him after Episode 1 and 2, and like all the stupid shit, like it all came together in some sort of like M. Night Shyamalan way, and everybody like forgave it.
But we know that that's not true because
it didn't happen.
Episode 3, yeah. But I mean, if they did try to stick Jar Jar with some kind of really important role, which they did, they made him a senator.
Could you imagine if Jar Jar Binks is in the new movie? People would go fucking crazy. But if it happened.
Somebody, there was a joke that I heard.
ISIS might kill him. ISIS would kill, like the Star Wars fans would join ISIS and kill fucking J.J. Abrams. That's what would happen.
And Disneyland. No, the joke that I've been hearing is that this isn't going to be in the film. This is just something that would be funny if it were in there. If there was like a conversation going on with the two characters, main characters or whatever, and then some like officer of the law or a senator or some very important like government person comes into the room and says, I hate to interrupt, but the grave of Senator Binks has been desecrated. And that was just like a little moment in the thing. It's like, send somebody to handle it or whatever. Moving on. If that happens, a little thing, if anything to make fun of the prequels in like little quippy smart ways is in that movie, I will enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it anyway.
Forget about it. But I think that movie will break all kinds of records. I think that'll be the number 1 highest grossing, highest whatever. It's gonna kick the fuck out of everything. I think.
And the only thing that I think can go wrong for that film is if all of the really great thoughts that people have on how the movie is, like how the story of the movie is supposedly supposed to be, don't live up to our expectations of what we think the movie is going to be about. That's the only thing that can hurt that film, because like people are saying like Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son, and Rey is like Luke or Leia's daughter. and then there's the black dude, and like
what they do have a bunch of interesting actors that are not known from anything.
That guy Kylo Ren, I don't know his actor name right off the top of my head, but he was a great cast because he has the Roman facial structure of Han Solo, so it's obvious that he's his son, and he might be like really into the dark side, but like the theory is at this point in time, like Jedis and like the wars that happened are all sort of like ancient history, kind of.
Yeah, they're like nobody believes them. Like nobody believes it actually happened.
Yeah, because and people say like, well, that was only 30 years ago. How'd you forget about 30 years worth of history that happened? It's like, well, the Star Wars, the actual wars and battles and stuff take place across many different planets, not every fucking planet. Yeah. So you never know. Like some people might have heard about it, but they're like, nah, there's no way there's any.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the scale of the Star Wars universe. There's like billions of people and like living in this universe, and it's like so vast. And like people don't realize how badass the Jedi really are, because there's like people seem to think there's like this like abundance of them when there's like there was like 1,000 or something.
When you look at the prequels, there were like way too many fucking Jedi.
Well, no, that's the thing is there wasn't, because there's billions of people in the fucking like known universe.
Yeah,
that's where I was going with that. Like people think there's like tons of them because they saw a bunch of them in one building, but that's like all of them. Like, that's like all that there was.
Yeah. But then there were. I don't want to say that's all of them.
Well, that was a lot temples. Of a decent amount of them, I should say. I guess there's like all the little the gray Jedi and all that shit that don't count. Like this is where I was being a nerd and read up on they call it Wikipedia instead of Wikipedia. Wikipedia. I was reading up on all that shit. Yeah, there's like Jedi or not Jedi, Force users. I guess they don't call them Jedi if they're not Jedi. They're Force wielders. Whatever.
From the storytelling of the movie's perspective, you're like in the 4, 5, and 6, like in A New Hope, you're introduced to what Jedi are, and Ben Kenobi's like, well, there were only like so many of us or whatever, and you're introduced to this concept as if there weren't that many. But in the prequels, they're like, shove as many fucking Jedi in there as you possibly can. Get them all in there. There's going to be 30,000 Jedi. And it's like, what?
Whoa.
That's ridiculous.
Well, they all died. The prequels, that was the whole point of the prequels, was like the fall of the Jedi. And the Empire striking back. As they would say.
That was the title of the like, in the Force
Revenge
Awakens,
of the Sith, I should say more accurately.
Right. In The Force Awakens, a lot of speculation is that Kylo Ren is kind of like obsessed with Darth Vader, or he's like a big fan of like what had happened, because where he grows up, it's just a story, so it's not like real.
Yeah, it's like a myth.
Yeah, so he kind of like finds out that he can use the Force or whatever. Who knows? I mean, I remember there was this supposedly you're not supposed to be able to activate a lightsaber unless you can use the Force, but then. I'm sorry, I don't know the fucking guy's name off the top of my head.
The black guy.
Our awesome black guy character can use the lightsaber. So it's like, what's going on? So there's every single thing that they could possibly get you to get stoked about this film to get you to get in there and spend money. The only assholes in this scenario are the people who bring a camera in and film the movie, and then the dicks who torrent that. The worst possible quality of the movie you could see. Right? Really? You're not going to go buy a ticket? So
I wouldn't watch. I've never watched a cam version of a movie. I'm not gonna say I've never torrented a movie, but if I do torrent a movie, I would definitely torrent the fucking like DVD rip.
A friend of mine left a disc here at my place, and it wasn't Blu-ray. It had like purple. It was the color purple, where the laser would hit. And I was like, I had it like in one of my storage things in my closet. And then I was going through my shit and like reorganizing stuff, and I found it, and I'm like, I don't really want to hold on to a disc that I don't know what's on it, because I don't know what's on it. There could be kiddie porn.
Be the next Jared Fogle.
Yeah, right. So
he got set up the whole time. That's what he says.
Yeah, right, you liar. I put it in my computer, and it was a bunch of ripped DVDs, movies, onto one disc, and one of them was like a camera, and I was watching. I think it was like Spider-Man or something. I was watching it. I'm like, this is the shittiest way to watch this film. If people watch film that way, that's so stupid.
A lot of people do, man. If you go on like the Pirate Bay, it's like some brand new movie cam version, and people download the fuck out of it.
Stop being cheap, people.
Yeah, I definitely
$18.
What the fuck?
Yeah, movies aren't. You gotta
wait. Where you go to the movie, the ticket costs $18.
No, you get the ticket, the popcorn.
Oh, see, I don't get the popcorn, man. That's where they get you. What fucking $6 popcorn or whatever the fuck.
I'm sorry if I'm conditioned from birth to when I see a film, watch popcorn.
You watch the popcorn?
Or to eat the popcorn while watching the film. I kind of look at the popcorn too because I got to make sure I grab it because it's dark in there. You know?
Dude, I can't get a read on this fucking Daisy Ridley character, who's the actress for what's her name?
Ray?
Yeah. She's like super fucking hot on some of these angles, but then like another angle and it's just like, what happened? But then she's like super fucking, like this is like one of those weird girls that it's like, what? Like some of these pictures, it's just like she goes from like literally a 6 to like a 9, depending on the picture. It's like really fucking weird.
I mean, that's good for her too because she can look like a range of I don't want to say beauty, but you can have this lady look like crap, which she kind of looks like a junk rat because she's like she's a junk rat in the movie for the most part, but you know, whatever.
I just think it's weird like that there's some people that are like that. It's just like they can look super fucking amazing in one picture and then look not in the next.
Well, there's always that.
I mean, she's definitely good looking for sure. It's just like, I guess these are just horrible pictures that I'm looking at on Google Images, like the ones that are bad.
You can always look for like those pictures of celebrities without makeup. And some people will go, well, they go from a 9 to a 6 or, you know, whatever. But it's like, they're still
my
really
scale is very generous. Like, my scale is very generous. It's just like, for whatever reason, when her face is at a certain angle, it's just like, ugh, what happened?
She just turns into Gollum for one frame.
Yeah, but then she's like super fucking hot. Like even in the pictures where it's not like modeled or like if it's like a candid shot where it's just like they obviously took a picture of her while she's doing some other shit. Like she still looks good in most of them, but it's just like occasionally it's like these fucking anomalies pop up. It's very weird.
I don't remember her name, but the really big lady from Game of Thrones. I don't mean big as in like how popular she is. I mean she's like 6'3". She's got blonde hair and she's like a knight. I cannot remember her name right now. Brienne of Tarth is what her name is in Game of Thrones. But anyway, she fought like hell to be in this fucking Star Wars film because she is the character. Her name in the film is Captain Phasma. So she's this giant lady and she's in stormtrooper gear and she has like a big old gun. So I feel like she's not going to do a whole lot in this film. Like she can be like a Boba Fett kind of character. Well, she'll do stuff in the next movie, but you have to know she exists. I think that's really cool that they have this just giant lady inside of stormtrooper gear. It's very intimidating and it's a very interesting character. Instead of just like
the new stormtroopers look cool as fuck.
Yeah,
they look good.
So
I'll definitely go see it. I might just forever alone that shit and just go see it by myself.
I hopefully, you know, that for me, that's my ideal situation. If I go first, second, third day after it's come out, majority of people have seen it, I hit a matinee, I get to see it myself. That'd be fucking great. But those people in this movie, and it's a Disney product, these people are the luckiest motherfucking actors alive. And a lot of them, mainstream-wise, we don't know who they are. So these people are going to go places because this movie is going to do well.
Oh yeah, no. I bet there'd be a lot of actors and actresses do this shit for free. Like if they knew they could get into Star Wars, they do this shit for free.
You know, do it for free. What? Oh, I get the royalty fees for the toys and stuff.
No, not even that. Not even that. Just doing it for free for the exposure of like just doing it. Apparently, that's what Disney does. Apparently, Disney does not pay that well. You just get, you know, it's just that they get a lot of the actors because they want the exposure, which makes sense.
Never heard of that.
What's the last movie you saw in theaters? Out of curiosity.
Godzilla.
I think is that the new one with
the one with Bryan Cranston for fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that.
20 minutes of Bryan Cranston.
I didn't see it in theaters though. And then he dies.
And then he dies, and then you get, who's this guy? His son. Dude. I don't know who his actor is, and he's boring. And I defuse bombs. And guess what he does at the end of the movie? He doesn't even defuse the bomb.
I saw the movie. I can't fucking remember what happened in it. Like
they put the bomb on a boat, and then they send the boat out, and the nuke like explodes.
That Godzilla was the one where the Godzilla fights off another monster, and then like all the people in New York are like saluting Godzilla or some shit as he walks into the ocean. Is that a different Godzilla?
No. At the end, he does, but it's not. I don't believe it's New York. Oh, maybe it is.
Well, whatever. He's in some city with big skyscrapers, and like he kills the monster, and then all the people in the city are like, "Thank you, Godzilla," and he like looks at them and then walks off in the ocean all fucking dramatically.
Yeah, because he like
and they let him live.
He like runs out of energy. You know, he's really tired and shit. He just falls over, and everyone thinks he's dead. And then some of the scientist characters go up, and they're like, "Oh, well, now we can like check him out." And then he just wakes up, and they're like, "Don't fuck with him. He just saved all of our lives." And then he just like slowly lumbers into the ocean. Yeah, that's that movie.
Dude, the last movie I saw was complete fucking trash in theaters. I saw it with some girl. Have you ever seen Paper Towns?
No.
Dude, it's so trash, man. I actually got mad watching this fucking movie. Dude, I kind of just want to rant on this shit. So this movie,
go ahead.
I swear to God, it's a fucking what do they call it? Romantic, or I guess I'm looking at it on Google right now. They call it a mystery drama, I guess. Anyway, so it's about this dude that likes this girl, right? And then this girl runs away to some random fucking place, right? Like, just some random fucking place. And the whole point of the movie is for him to find her via these clues she left him. Like, random shit in abandoned warehouses and just... It's already a horrible premise for a movie.
Oh, I remember that part from the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, so, movie? Like,
oh, God.
She's leaving... Dude, it gets better. She's leaving all these fucking clues for him to go find her. And then towards the end of the movie... He finds out where she is. He finds out where she is. And she's not even there. So... so he has to go and hitchhike to a bus station. And then the fucking girl is randomly at the bus station. And get this shit. I can't even say it without laughing. And then get this shit. So he finds the girl and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you found me." And he's like, "Yeah, you left all those fucking clues, right? Isn't that what you wanted me to do?" And she's like, "No." Dude, I couldn't fucking believe it. Literally in the theater, I was like, "What the fuck?" Dude, it's so... She's like, "No." Dude, maybe this isn't funny to anybody. I bet anybody that's seen this movie is like, "Dude, I totally agree. That was so stupid." But she's like, "No, I leave clues for everybody." And I swear to God,
what does that mean?
Dude, I swear to God, the movie ends. He goes on the bus and goes home, and she stays there. Cue the credits.
After an all-night adventure.
Dude, that was the ending of just like... Dude, I couldn't fucking believe it. He literally goes on a Scooby-Doo fucking mystery chase for this girl who leaves him all these fucking clues and shit and is like the biggest tease ever. And she's like, "Nah."
This is the part now, because now you're now that I know that she's like, "No, I just leave clues. I'm a fucking clue leaver." Reading the synopsis on IMDb this is misleading as hell. This is what it says towards the end. It says, "Leaving behind clues that Quentin and his friends follow on a journey of a lifetime."
Dude, it was so
with like, that kind of an ending? I don't think so.
Yeah, literally the end is she's like, "No, I leave clues for everybody. I didn't think you'd come." He's like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "I did this all for nothing." And she's like, "Yeah, pretty much." And then he goes on a bus and leaves. And that's the end of the movie. She doesn't come with him. She stays there.
This is what Rotten Tomatoes says. Paper Towns isn't as deep or moving as it wants to be, yet it's still earnest, well acted, and thoughtful enough to earn a place in the hearts of teen filmographers of all ages. Oh my God. The fuck? Dude,
that was the most pointless fucking movie. It was just infuriating to watch. It was just so fucking infuriating. But whatever, I saw it. Wasn't my idea.
I love some of these people because they're so spot on.
What are they? Are they like pretty spot on with what I'm saying?
Yeah, this movie's relationship to teen romance, flirting with it, undercutting it, swooning back into it. Its clinched thrall is frustrating and intriguing. Intriguing in spurts, but the end, it's more like it's a wrap than the messy, crumpled up draft of life.
Dude, that's one of the most ridiculous movie endings I've ever seen. They just trivialize the entire movie at the very end, where she's like, "No, I didn't expect you to come."
Ultimately a forgettable entry in the young adult genre. Of course. It's funny to laugh at. No one's gonna remember. We're making this movie more memorable by just talking about it than actually.
Dude, I bet there's so many people listening to this right now like, why do you think this shit is so funny? Go watch the movie and then come back and listen to my synopsis of it. Dude, it is unreal. This has got to be the shittiest movie I've ever seen. All right. You got anything you want to pitch? I think I've railed on fucking paper towns long enough.
And I did learn my lesson this week. I had come up with an idea, or I just like randomly thought of something. I'm like, oh, that'd be great to talk about in the podcast. And I'm like, it's such a good idea. I'll never forget it. So I'm not going to write it down or anything. And then I woke up like Tuesday and I was like, oh, fuck, I don't remember what it was. So I'm going to be keeping record of anything.
You still don't remember it?
I do not. No, I've been trying to remember what it was, but
It's all right. I got something here. Oh boy. So are you familiar with Oscar Pistorius?
Name sounds familiar, but
the dude, they called him the fucking Blade Runner in the Olympics. The dude with the two prosthetic legs.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know he killed his girlfriend, right?
Nope.
No, you don't. Okay. Let me find a good old Google image of her. Dude, this guy is a fucking legend in my book. This guy killed his girlfriend, and she looks like this. Like, what the fuck did she do? God damn. She must have done some shit real bad to make him want to kill her.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Well, the question is, how would you... Well, I guess he can run really fast with those...
He doesn't have a leg to stand on in this situation. That's a horrible joke.
I'm not gonna... I wouldn't prop him up in what he's
Dude, what a fucking legend for killing her. Like, honestly, what do you want to do? Like, mount her on the fucking wall as a deer? Like a deer head or something?
That's really weird when this happens, because whenever somebody's like, oh, so-and-so killed their girlfriend or whatever, or beat them to death or something, it's like you always see a photo of like, them getting beat up.
I can justify that.
What?
No, it's just like, yeah, you see the picture of him, you're like, yeah, I can kind of see where he's coming from with that.
Well, no, what I am saying is that we always see a photo of the girl dead or just survived getting beaten up. We see the girl looking like shit 'cause she just got her ass kicked. But then there's always that photo will pop up and go, well, by the way, this is what she looked like before they got into this fight, and she's gorgeous. And it's always that way. Like, what the fuck is going on with you?
I wouldn't say it's always that way. It's definitely not as ridiculous as this.
I think people who do this kind of shit have never been in a relationship with a woman who just looks normal. I think they're always in a relationship with like someone who's borderline model quality.
Like, what did she do? Like, steal his fucking legs? And like shot him through
if she stole his legs, Zyback, he wouldn't have been able to kill her.
Dude, he shot her through a door. Like, she was in the bathroom or some shit, and he just shot her through the door.
Well, okay. Was it self-defense?
In America, it probably would be.
Well, if she was... I mean, I don't give a shit how pretty you are. If you're a psycho bitch and you're in the bathroom with a knife... She
locked herself in the bathroom, and he shot her through the door.
Okay, well, now that's a little fucking dumb now. Now I don't understand
It might still be self-defense in Texas. Yeah, but dude, this dude's a fucking legend.
A legendary dick, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like one of those things where it's like, god damn!
Wasn't he, like, not allowed to compete in some form of Olympic race or something? They kicked him out because he has two of those legs. They said they make him
So I think they didn't let him compete for a while, and then they like overturned it or something, or like all the runners apparently that he was competing against said, let this guy compete, and they let him compete, something along the lines of that. But they let him compete in the most recent Summer Olympics. And he didn't win any medals or anything, but I think he actually qualified into the final race, which is actually a pretty big accomplishment. Like, you have to run, like, however many qualifiers. And I think he was actually in, like, I think he got, like, 8th or something. So he was in the medal running. He just didn't win, obviously. But, dude.
And then we later find out he likes to shoot his girlfriend for fun.
Yeah. No, it's just pretty crazy.
These people, like, a lot of the time...
Like, legit murdered a fucking, like, upper 9, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Through a fucking bathroom door.
Like we were talking about in the last podcast about how I honestly believe if we just give ISIS, like, PS4s and porn and access to the internet, that they would stop their stupid shit. I also subscribe to the belief of if you have a problem, like if you're like, oh man, I'll shoot the bitch. It's like, we'll just give you a copy of GTA 5, okay? And then you just get all your energy out in that game. You don't have to kill anybody, and you won't kill anybody. It's kind of like rapists. I think a lot of rapists don't know how to jerk off. That's really.
I don't know how you don't know how to jerk off.
Some people don't. You know what I mean? It's just my crazy theory. But
yeah,
that sucks to hear. I did remember the name, recognize the name. That was
anyway. This is actually something I just stumbled upon. Like right before the podcast. So have you seen that South Park episode where Kyle's little brother is dating the kindergarten teacher?
No. Is this a recent one?
No, this is an older one where like the teacher is fucking Kyle's little brother.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And they go to the police, and the police are like, "Whoa, what does she look like?" And they show her a picture, and he's like, "Nice."
Yeah.
And he's like, and Kyle's like, "Aren't you gonna do something? This is illegal." And he's like, "What are we gonna do? Contact the little boy and give him his luckiest boy in America award?" Yeah. This shit happened in real life. So that teacher, I favorited the pictures so I could find them. Let me find it here. Okay. Here's the pictures of this person. Her name is Brienne. Scroll down on that second thing I linked to like the third picture. That's what that's what she looks like. And she's a teacher, and apparently she hooked up with a 16-year-old and a 17-year-old. And she got 30 years in prison, but the judge overturned it, basically saying, like, come on, guys. It's not like those 16 and 17-year-olds were victims or anything.
Yeah. The judge is nice.
Yeah, the judge was like, yeah, nice. But dude,
yeah, this shit is a little too annoying at this point. Like I remember back in the 90s.
Man. I was
in
16.
The 90s people.
Go ahead.
In the 90s people would freak out about this, like, "Oh, my children aren't safe around certain teachers and this and that." That's fine if they're being like assaulted or accosted or whatever. But like a lot of it now is just like, my hot teacher. And the hot teacher goes, if she's like down, what the fuck are we gonna do? How do you make that a crime?
Did you read that Yahoo article? Look, there's a quote.
Look at it.
Let me see.
Utah judge.
There's a quote at the bottom. Shit. Okay, here we go.
I feel I have
Hamilton said her teen client was publicly shamed and emotionally scarred when his contact with Altus became public in this high-profile case. He's forever branded the kid who had sex with his teacher, said Hamilton. She argued the protections provided the school by state law don't apply. It was the shaming, not the illegal sex, that created the lasting damage. So this lawyer is trying to say that this 17-year-old boy has been shamed horribly for hooking up with this hot teacher. I'm sure the shame. I'm sure
labeled as
everybody's calling him a fucking loser. What a loser.
What a fag. You fucked your really hot teacher, you fucking piece of shit fag. I'm sure I think everyone's fist bumping this guy, and then he graduates in like another year.
Tried. So I think the reason that this chick got off is because the family tried to sue for some like insane amount of money because their son hooked up with a really fucking hot teacher.
And she's not young either. She's 36.
She's like, dude, she looks good for 36 though.
Yeah.
God damn. Dude, it's not like this was rape. It'd be one thing if like she was fucking like a kindergartner or something. But if you're 15, okay, this is my opinion. This might not go over well, but if you're old enough to drive a car, you're old enough to decide whose dick you want to put in your mouth. That's my stance on it.
You're so close to that age at that age where you're like, yeah, consent is this or whatever.
Dude, it's such a weird thing. It's just like, well, you can choose to have sex with somebody, but they have to be within a year of you or 2 years of you. It's just like, what? Like, what? It's just like such a weird, like, gray area of like you can be 18 and hook up with a 16-year-old, but if you're 19 and hook up with a 16-year-old, you're on a fucking list for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That is so fucking strange.
But this kid's going to be on a list now.
On the fucking winner list?
His whole life is ruined. He can't even get a job.
No, I don't think he's going to be on a list.
No, I'm just kidding. He's going to be on the fucking I fucked my teacher, check out how hot she is list.
Yeah, really. Dude, what a little bitch faggot, though, for, like, ratting her out. Like, honestly. Like,
did he rat her out?
Obviously, he didn't keep his fucking mouth shut. No, what probably happened, he was probably bragging. He's like, dude, I fucked her. Oh, my God. This is amazing. Yeah. I want to tell the world about this shit. And then he's got to pretend like he's the fucking victim in court. What a joke that shit is.
She probably knew she was doing some borderline, like...
Of course she did, but, like, dude...
What I mean is that she probably knew she was doing something bad, and she probably told him, like, listen, you cannot tell anybody. You know, it's fine. I enjoy your, you know, if they're enjoying each other's company, maybe they go on dates. Maybe it's not just constant fucking or whatever.
60, yeah.
But you gotta fucking tell them. Don't tell anybody. And the kid is, if I'm 16 and I'm fucking smoking hot
keeping my mouth shut.
I would try very hard to keep my mouth shut, but I'm not going to guarantee you that 16-year-old Dontain would not be like, at some point, tell one of my good friends that I trust, because that's usually
how it always happens, and then it gets out.
But because I don't blame him for that. I think it's a stupid thing to have eventually said something, but
this is a victimless crime.
Yeah. Oh, this is the opposite of a crime.
Yeah, this is the opposite of really. Shit, they should give this lady an award.
How lonely do you have to... I'm still looking at her. How lonely are you when you look like that?
It was probably just... She's probably just one of those people that's, like, really fucking into that spontaneous, like, we shouldn't do this, and that's why it's so appealing.
It's like a taboo.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, maybe.
No, she wouldn't have any issues at all. Like, looking at that forum thread I posted, like, she looks good as fuck in all these pictures.
And in Utah, I'm pretty sure you can land a decent-looking dude or something.
Yeah, you can find some rich Mormon, right?
Sure. But then you have to go with that whole multiple wives thing, and that ain't great.
I'm sure she would fucking compete pretty well. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. This came out just today that the judge threw her case out, and she served time. She was gonna serve up to 30 years for this shit if the judge didn't throw it out.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the judge quote. Judge Morris said that he was constrained by the law. Quote, I feel that I have to rule that way, he said. Wait, that's not the quote I wanted. Whatever, the judge said that's fucking bullshit. We got to give this kid his luckiest boy in America award. Threw that shit out.
The only issue that I would have to take up with it would be if I'm the teacher, is my teaching career completely ruined now?
Oh yeah, she's not gonna be able to be a teacher anymore.
Yeah, that's probably the only bad part.
She shouldn't go to prison for that shit.
No, but she's also pretty enough, and I'm saying this because it's a fact, not because I'm if it sounds sexist or some stupid shit like that. But this is just a fact. This lady's pretty. She can get a job doing other shit other than being a teacher and probably make a boatload more money. The only thing that happens that sucks for her is she probably really liked being a teacher. But, you know, honey, you got options. Don't worry about it. You could work at Hooters and make more money.
We can talk about the crazy hypocrisy here of if the sexes were reversed, though. If this was a 36-year-old dude hooking up with some high school chicks, dude, they'd throw the fucking book at him.
Maybe.
Dude, you're crazy if you don't think they'd throw the book at him.
I really don't believe that they would, but you gotta remember.
Dude, you're crazy.
You gotta remember what you're saying. If we have supermodel quality looking teacher, that's a dude hooking up with any, whatever,
16-year-old
girl. I think, you know what? I'll say this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it would never go to court because the little girl would keep her fucking mouth shut. Women are smarter than that.
No.
Yeah, she would keep her mouth. She would
No,
turn
I
16
think
or whatever
I think if any of the sexes was to keep their fucking booty call a secret, it would be a dude because he values that shit way more.
Yeah, but your booty call is your teacher.
Dude, I think
you're bragging.
I think the podcast listeners will have to decide.
Yeah.
I think you're crazy as fuck, dude. They would throw the fucking book at him if this was a dude.
Super.
I don't think it matters what he looks like.
He would have to, because we're comparing it to this case.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Yeah. But
if it were like some dopey old man and he's like, "Bro, I like to touch the girls," and one of them agrees to come over for peanuts and beers or whatever the hell, and it's like nefarious and like really stupid. It's like, "I'll get you good grades. Come on over. I'll get you drunk and whatever." Like the give her a hot Cosby. Yeah, this guy would be in
a hot Cosby. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
That's when you drug a girl so that she passes out, and then
okay, that's what I assumed. But
Bill Cosby.
I didn't know if that was like a more.
I think I heard that joke from South Park. I think that's why I brought it up. But
yeah, I think you're insane. The podcast listeners will have to decide.
You have to just to keep it concise. If this was a really hot.
Dude.
You have to link the photos of this lady too. You have to let them see what she looks like. If it was a really hot dude hooking up with 16-year-old girls in the high school, and he's the teacher,
they would eviscerate him.
Oh no,
like a billion years.
What I'm saying is, if it goes to court, yeah, they would absolutely be like, yeah, this is bad. You're gonna do time. I am saying that the girl would keep her fucking mouth shut.
Oh, dude,
I think it's a success.
Dude, my experience with women is the exact opposite. They talk about everything. All they do is fucking gossip about bullshit constantly.
Then I would think you'd have to be a smart enough teacher to want to hook up with one of the girls who isn't in a big clique of girls.
Dude, that's all of them. They're all the same.
No, they're not.
They all talk constantly about each other, behind each other's back. Dude, that's like 100% of my experience with women is that they all are fucking the same like that. They all just talk about all this fucking shit. It's unreal. Anyway, I've never met a woman that's what's the word? Short. Not what's the term where you're short with words? You don't waste any words. There's some term for that. I never met one.
Yeah.
The Master Chief of women.
I have met some. So, but then again, I live up here where it's cold and nothing else to do. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty. That one's fresh off the fucking press. We're topical here at the Hive Mind podcast.
Oh sure.
All right. Let me see. Anything else? Did you see the Sam Pepper video? Are you familiar?
No.
God damn! All this shit I'm bringing up, you're just like, nope, never heard of it.
Man, I could say, have you seen the Scotty Too Hottie video? And you'd be like, no, I don't know.
Well, this is like kind of like some drama though.
Okay.
Like in the YouTube community. So
Sam Pepper sounds like a YouTuber.
Sam Pepper is this guy that does YouTube pranks, and I'm sure you're familiar with the whole YouTube prank memes of like, it's just a prank, bro. Like, are you familiar with?
I've seen him. I'm more
like they're dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, this guy did a prank video where he pranked his best friend into thinking he got kidnapped and murdered. I gotta link this shit. So you
pranked his best friend into thinking that
murdering my best friend.
Mr.
Prank.
Pepper
No, it's one of those things you just gotta see. Let's take a gander. Killing my best friend prank. Let's see here.
I've seen the prank. It's quite some time ago where they.
This is the fucking worst thing. One of the worst things I've ever seen. All right. Let me get the share link.
I've seen the prank where the newlywed couple, they're driving away.
Yeah.
And it's like a
watch. So the prank basically is they get kidnapped or whatever, and just watch it from that point. And then let me know what you think. I'll give you a second. But anyway, it did not go over well. Let's just he disabled the ratings, obviously. But well, let me know when you're when you
I'm
get.
Watching where you time stamped it, where they're in the chairs.
Yeah, it gets good. I'm just gonna be quiet and get your reaction here. I'm waiting for it. So fucking wrong. I think this is legit. I'm pretty sure this is real. Like, they'd have to get some, like, excellent actors to be able to pull that shit off. But yeah, I'm curious if,
it's muted at this point.
It's muted?
Yeah, he shoots the kid in the head, and then the kid's in the chair tied down, and he's crying or whatever, but I don't hear him crying. It's
yeah, but like...
some fucking fake, stupid music that's like... Ding,
yeah, but like the whole part before.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't do anything to you? You're just like a fucking heartless wretch? You... nothing?
Well, he's...
Dude, that kid is so fucked up, dude. He is, like, so clearly, like, this is one of those things where the people listening have to, like, watch this video to understand what we're talking about, but, like, that kid on the left is so fucking, like, scarred by this.
I get that he's, like, incredibly scared, but I also get that it's a prank.
That's not a prank! What the fuck kind of prank is that?
It's a prank, Zyback.
That is not a prank.
It's not something that you should... this kind of prank is really, really mean and emotionally scarring and everything.
Dude, that would be like pranking a chick by like, let's strip off all our clothes and pretend like we're getting ready to rape her, and they'd be like, it's just a prank, bro! We pranked you! Prank! Like, this is awful.
No, I agree with you. It's awful, but...
This is like... I don't know, man. This is awful.
It's not shocking to me because I know it's a prank. Yeah. I mean, the emotion and everything that the kid's going through is
it's like totally real. Like
it's totally real. Yeah,
like a lot of these prank videos are fake, but I think this one is fucking legit. Like that is like some excellent acting.
It's absolutely legit if you see the video because the kid is like anxiety is going off the charts. His nose is all red.
Yeah, dude, that's just terrible. God, I can't believe you didn't have a stronger reaction to that. You were fucking a real psycho.
You told me what it was before.
Yeah, I guess that kind of.
And it's titled "Killing Best Friend Prank."
If
there was
that's got to be up there. That's got to be up there with like some of the most ridiculous YouTube titles ever on a video.
Of course. Here's what would have shocked me if they put production quality into the actual shot, like if they had like a blood squib on the right side of the kid's head, and it kind of went poof, and like I mean. You don't watch somebody get shot in the face and there not be any blood. This kid's freaking out. Oh my god! It's like, take a minute to like
I don't
look
know.
at what's happening.
That's a smaller handgun. You might like in the moment that kid's not gonna notice that. That kid's not gonna be like, there's not even any blood.
I get why he can't think rationally because he's been like terrorized for whatever 6-7 minutes into this video. And mind you, keep that in mind. I didn't see the whole thing. I only saw up to where you linked it, but fucking. Yeah, I mean, if there was like a prop that shot out like goo or something and it looked really gross, that would have shocked the fuck. That would have shocked me to death. I would have been like, no fucking way. They did that. That was part of the prank. That's cruel and unusual and really fucking mean.
I don't know.
But they didn't do that, so I was not fazed by it. I'm sorry.
I'm like one of the least sensitive people ever,
dude.
And I think this shit is like way overboard.
I think, when I see things, like when I watch Walking Dead and if I see, like, body parts and, like, things like that stuff freaks me out. I don't like that sort of thing. But it was just a fake gunshot, and the kid freaked out. He was the one who bought into it. I didn't buy into it.
It's because we're watching the video, I'm thinking about it from the kid's perspective. I'm not thinking about it from the fucking viewer watching the video's perspective. I'm thinking about it from that kid in the fucking chair and how fucked up that is.
But the reason we watch it is to watch him freak out and be fucked up. That's the whole
point. I couldn't even watch the whole fucking thing because I was like so uncomfortable.
Didn't make me uncomfortable because I knew it was a prank. But that's just the way my brain works, I can't watch things
even though he knows this is a prank, I bet that's still gonna fuck with him for a long time.
Oh sure. He's gonna question his friend on everything this guy does.
Not even like trust issues. I mean just like even though that's fake, I feel like that is still like emotionally scarring.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because that's like such a crazy fucking thing.
I even said emotionally scarring because clearly the kid is buying into this because he doesn't know he's being pranked. So he thinks
I would
someone just
fucking
shot
buy
his
into
best
that.
friend.
That is like, dude, that is fucking unbelievable. That, you know, especially with all the fucking crazy shit happening where everybody's shooting, fucking killing each other with,
right.
You know, it's kind of believable.
Unfortunately, your friend runs a prank channel. So
no, these are just two random fucks.
Oh, so this Sam channel is not like a prank channel?
The Sam channel is a prank channel, but I think those two guys in that video, like they just got two random guys. Like the kid in the yellow has nothing to do with the prank. The kid with the yellow hair has nothing to do with the prank channel guy. I don't think.
Okay,
that's my understanding.
They successfully created shocking art.
It's just a prank, bro. Oh my god, it's awful. But yeah, a whole bunch of people were really pissed off at that video. I can't believe YouTube hasn't pulled it. I feel like that's one of those videos that does break the terms of service for like bullying and like hate.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever.
Maybe they will pull it at some point in time.
I don't think they will at this point.
Maybe they'll make an amendment to the stuff.
If it would have gotten pulled, I don't want it to get pulled. I definitely don't want it to get pulled. I'm really against that shit. Even though this video is fucked up, I definitely don't want it to get pulled. But I feel like that with all the non-controversial shit that's gotten pulled, for this not to is kind of weird. But it definitely won't at this point. It's got 6 million views. It's not going to get pulled down at this point.
And I just want to make this clear, not only to you but to the audience. That didn't shock me for those reasons that I've already explained. But someone like me cannot and will not watch anything related to the National Pain Olympics, even though I know it's fake. I know it's not real.
I don't want to watch that shit either.
It's not real, and I know it's fake, but I cannot watch it because I'm buying into the fact this guy really is chopping his dick off, and that's just like I like really.
What do they get like hospital fucking? What do they call those? Fuck.
Hospital penises?
No, like the dead people. The dead people that they use to.
Oh, corpses?
Not corpses. They have a different term. Like the official name for what they call corpses that they use for medical reasons. Whatever. I'm assuming they just got that. They just got those bodies.
I don't know because I can't watch but fucking 5 seconds of this shit, and I've never looked at it again.
Apparently, some of that shit is real though. Not like the BME shit, like the stuff that's like branded as BME Pain Olympics or whatever it's called. But apparently, like, some of that shit is real. Like, there's one video where a guy, like, sticks a jar up his ass and it fucking breaks.
Oh, God.
And he shits out blood chunks.
See, like, that kind of shit.
I didn't watch it. I just fucking, I heard about it.
See, and what I heard was that the Pain Olympics stuff is just very elaborate props that really
look a prank, bro.
Well, no, and it's and it's not filmed in the greatest quality of film. Still, I think it's filmed in non HD standard definition, and so it's like you really can't tell that it's a prop. If it were in better quality, you'd be able to tell. But it's just like you can go out and get a fake wiener from any little party shop or something that's like a little prank wiener or whatever. People use them to. My friend who was a big drug addict and shit, he used to use one to...
Dude, is it... Okay, let me guess who it is. Please. Was he in your vlogs?
Yeah.
Was he the guy with, that, like, you said fixed Xboxes or whatever?
Yeah.
I knew it! Is it meth? Please tell me it's meth.
It was a lot. It was meth, coke.
Yes! Woo! Nailed it.
Yeah.
The fuck was that guy's name?
Felonious.
Felonious! What an appropriate name.
Yeah. I didn't call him that.
Did he make that after he got his first felony, or is that...
Well, when he started playing World of Warcraft, he named his character Felonious.
That is a...
I didn't give him that name.
Does he have like felonies?
Yeah, of course he's got lots of felonies.
Dude, that's fucking amazing. What a fucking appropriate name.
He's gone though. He's out in North Dakota as a cook. He owns part of a restaurant.
He's dead. And I was gonna feel like an asshole for cheering that I was right.
He got a job offer, and he's like, they said just get on the train and get out here, and you can start working. And he's like making a lot of money. He's cleaned himself up, but yeah, that I forgot what the hell.
Is he like actually like not on meth anymore? Because that dude looked awful in your vlogs from like 5 years ago.
I haven't seen him, and I got to take his word for it. He called me, and I was like, hey, and it's whatever. I gotta take. All I can say is I have to take his word for it because I can't see what he looks like. But what I was saying about the fake wieners and stuff is that you can
what a transition.
Well, just in case any of y'all do smoke a lot of pot and you want to get away with.
I was talking to my friend Felonius, and anyway, about those fake wieners.
So if you wanna get a job and they're gonna drug test you, if you seriously can't detox yourself or whatever, and you're just that lazy, go get one of them little fake wieners that has like
I've
a
heard
pipe.
about those.
It's like a little plastic tube that's in the fake wiener. It goes into a bag, right? You fill that bag up with one of your friends pees in that bag. And then when they do your drug test, sometimes these drug tests get so strict that they actually have to watch you whip your wiener out. Yeah. So just in case, there's a little life hack for you.
Yeah, that's crazy that they make those artificial dicks. I know a lot of people, like when I went to high school, the kids that had to pass the drug tests to play football and shit, they'd just like get somebody to piss in a condom, and then they'd just do that, and I guess empty the condom out in the piss thing.
There's some drinks that you can get. They're specifically designed to detoxify.
I know. I heard that those were bullshit, but then I literally witnessed a fucking guy that was on my football team smoke a shitload of weed, and like 2 or 3 days before he took it, and he fucking passed. I was like, what the fuck? It's unbelievable.
It's because the THC, the way to get people if they smoke a lot of pot and they take the detox, the way to catch them is to use hair samples if you really want to catch them. But the detox things work.
That's crazy. It's so stupid, though.
I know a lot about drugs for a guy who's never done any hard drugs in my life.
Yeah,
thanks, Felonius.
Yeah, really. Dude, they gotta legalize that shit. I have a feeling it's gonna happen. It's like the legalization of marijuana is like the new gay marriage. It's just like it's gonna fucking happen eventually. It's just more people have to die for it to happen. These old fucks.
Yeah, and I mean,
I don't even like pot. Like I'm not a big fan. I guess I'm like 50-50 on the edibles. Like 50. I kind of like the edibles a little bit, but in terms of smoking it, nah. I'm not a big fan of smoking anything. I just don't like that feeling of not breathing oxygen. But you know what? I'm not a fan of pot, but dude, I fucking hate potholes in the roads.
Right.
And if they tax marijuana, dude, I'm gonna be fixing those fucking potholes. All that extra tax money.
I think it was Colorado or someone.
I know they made so much money.
One of those states reported that they had made
millions,
but that was in tax money.
Yeah, it's like close to $1 billion or something like that.
Yeah, 18 million was what I had heard out of Colorado. That's extra money on top of other taxes. That's tax money.
I think it's more than that. I thought it was more than that. I thought it was like close to $1 billion.
I don't know.
Throughout the whole state.
I don't like to approximate things in billions because like that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
18 million makes sense to me. 1 billion for just a state to make that much on top of what they're taxing already. $1 billion? It's like how much money disaster relief needs when a hurricane comes through. You know, I mean, if that's what they're making, great. You know.
Okay, so I was a little. It's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
It was more than alcohol. That was just crazy. They made more from alcohol, or they made more from marijuana than they did from alcohol last year. Made 70 million.
Yep.
So it's definitely more than a few million.
I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I have read a lot and heard a lot of scientific studies on pot, and pot does not damage you nearly as much as drinking does or smoking cigarettes does, because
it's definitely not healthy. I can't stand that people are like, dude, it's so fucking healthy. It's just not that bad.
Yeah, don't believe it if anybody says, oh, it's a healthier alternative to not smoking pot. It's like, no, it's a hallucinogenic thing. There's chemicals going on. You're not naturally supposed to be feeling this way. However, it is helpful for people who have glaucoma and like other diseases.
Dude, yeah, and there's just some people need to chill the fuck out. Like, like some of those people that are like really. I'm sure you've run into these people that are really high strung.
Yeah.
That they're not bad people, and they're just like. They're those people that are like, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this. Yeah, oh my god, what happens if this happens? Oh my god, blah, 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 blah. And they're just like running at 1,000 miles an hour all the fucking time. And it's just like, dude, you need to fucking chill. It's like,
I heard something about how people who have ADHD like that.
Well, it's not even ADHD. It's just like they're like worry warts and.
Well, your brain is running at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you're thinking. My friend Ken has an issue like that as well, where he has such a great memory that before he goes to sleep, he has to think about everything that happened throughout the day and analyze the day before he can fall asleep. His brain won't let him actually get into deep sleep until he actually thinks about the entire day, which in my mind it's like, that's insane. That's like a superpower. I would never be able to remember every little thing that happened in the day, but he claims that happens. And people who have ADHD and throughout the day their brains are running at 1 billion miles an hour, I've heard that smoking some pot, a specific strain of pot, and I don't know what it is a lot healthier than the medication that they give you.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
For that. That's what I've heard. But, you know, I'm down for it. I would probably smoke once in a while because it's just, you know, relax. But the thing is, another thing that I know is that marijuana affects people differently between different strains of pot.
Oh, yeah.
Because I only have the one pot story, and this is absolutely true. You are going to think that I am making this up and that I am lying. My Flonius had to go get this detox stuff. He had to go to Duluth, okay?
I'm not surprised.
So he's like, you want to go to Duluth? And I'd never been there, and I heard it's a really great hipster town. It is a hipster town now, but this was like 2012 or whatever when we went. I'd never been there. It's great. And it's about 2.5 hours away. We get about 30 minutes into the drive, and he's like, here, I'm smoking pot. Here, have some. I'm like, all right, whatever. Fuck it. Who cares? And I smoke this pot. 10 minutes later, I'm high. But this is the part that you're not going to believe. When my vocal cords would vibrate, it would feel like I'm being tickled in my throat. And I would start to laugh. So
I can believe that.
I'm trying not to laugh.
But it's making you laugh.
I'm just constantly laughing. And it was like, it was great. It was fun.
I can believe that. That's not unbelievable at all. And
so a 2.5 hour car ride, I swear to God, I'm laughing.
Like fucking just Family Guy.
Peter. Like, you're not trying to, but like even the slightest vibration is just throwing me out the window. And 2.5 hour car ride turns into, I swear to God, like a 20-minute car ride. Because, like, you have to crest this big hill.
Wait, did you say a half-hour car ride turns into a 20-minute car ride?
No, a 2.5 hour.
Oh, it was like a whole 10 minutes? Whoa.
Yeah, it felt like 20-something minutes had gone by. Once that was happening to my throat.
Yeah, it's just like...
It felt like 20 fucking minutes, and then we go over this hill, and then he's like, dude, we're here. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, I can talk again. And then we're looking down on Duluth, and it's like this majestic thing, because it's nice and pretty and everything. So I was like, well, we're fucking there already? What the fuck? Because I remember the car ride back being like incredibly boring.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, what the fuck was in that pot? He's like, I don't know, man.
The only weed experience I have is with edibles, and that was just like, I didn't eat very much of it, so it was kind of just like, this is nice.
At least you knew. A lot of my friends who say,
I didn't know. The thing with edibles is they take a long time, dude. It took like 45 minutes for that fucker to kick in. And I like they said like eat 2 of these, and I only ate 1 of them, so I got like, and I'm a big dude, so I'm sure it doesn't affect me as much. But I only ate 1. It's just like, yeah, this is kind of nice. Just like mellowed me out a little bit, and I don't know. That's pretty much all it did.
But yeah,
it was kind of like that feeling of when you wake up in the morning after you sleep like a lot. Like, you know, when you sleep for like 10 or 12 hours, and you wake up and you're just like still being lazy as fuck in bed, but it's like it feels so good, and you don't want to get up. That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah. But my other pot experience, the other 2 times I was smoking it, all I did was it made me tired.
Yeah, the same way with me.
And I think the problem was I was smoking it at the end of my day, where I was like naturally going to fall asleep soon. So that's why I wouldn't smoke pot like, you know, in the morning or whatever, because I got to be productive. Just to see if it wouldn't make me tired, you know what I mean? So that's why I personally don't, and I have asthma, so who knows if it like affects me and you know, and whatnot. Maybe I'm one of those people who will just never be able to enjoy a good toke. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some people
I can live with that.
There's some people that have really bad reactions to it. They just like freak out and fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't drink or smoke or do any sort of recreational shit like that. I don't do any of it. Really.
I drink, but you know, I don't. I'm obviously a child of the '90s, and we were just smashed in the face with like, dare not to do drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
Oh, I got that too. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah. So like, I'm already conditioned not to drink a lot of it, but I still drink, and I know it's not good for me. And maybe when I'm 60, my liver might hurt or whatever. But I mean, those are the choices we make.
Yeah.
If you want to smoke pot and the state makes a ton of money, fuck it, do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, a a lot of people in my family drink. I don't want to say we have like a history of alcoholics, nothing like that. But a lot of people in my family like to drink heavily. They enjoy their fucking, booze on the weekend or whatever. That's like the majority of them, honestly. And I don't at all, for whatever reason. Like, some people say like, oh, it's because they drink so much that you don't want to, but it's like not even that. It's just like I just didn't enjoy it that much. It just makes me really tired and foggy.
My parents were the most uncreative people on the planet. They couldn't figure out what to name me, so they named me after my dad's cousin, who is an alcoholic. And I met this man. Carry on
the legacy.
Well, I met this guy, and he's like 50-something. I lived with him. Me, my dad, and him. My dad moved him from Florida up to our house in New Mexico to try and get him to stop drinking and get him all cleaned up, and because he's on Social Security or something, because he's disabled. But this guy is a complete mess of a person when he's drunk. But when he's not drunk, he's a brilliant guy. And so this is around the time when I was turning 20-ish, and I was like, all right, I don't really know if I want to drink because I don't want to. I just assume everyone who drinks acts like this fucking asshole. Oh, yeah. And I'm named after him, so I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna drink. Fuck that. But now, it's fine. I enjoy it once in a while, but I drink by myself, so I'm not inconveniencing anybody else. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's one of those things that can get scary though.
Yeah, but I'm not an idiot. I'm not some kid. I'm 31. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I mean, if I'm gonna hang out on a Wednesday night, watch Walking Dead.
Does it take a lot of alcohol to get you drunk? Is your tolerance really high? Mm-hmm. Dude, what's funny about me is I'm the opposite. Me and you were, I would say the same body style. I guess we're both bigger dudes. I'm 6'5". You're probably 6'5", close.
6'4". Yeah.
I got you. You short
fuck. It's a BMI thing. I'm really my body's my bone structure is that I'm wider than I am tall. So one of those naturally fat looking people.
Yeah, but I've lost a lot of weight. I've lost a lot of weight, but I'm definitely still that pretty wider person. Yeah. Shirts.
Yeah, tolerance level has to do with it as well. I mean,
but yeah, dude, I'm a lightweight.
Older than you.
I don't drink at all. So the only time I drink is when I've got a girl over here and she wants to get drunk, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't like drinking, but I like pussy, so
right,
I'll take one for the fucking team. And dude, they can't believe how fucking I'm sure when you started drinking, it took you 2 beers and you're fucking drunk because your tolerance is so low.
My first beer was I was working at a at a convenience store, gas station, so I knew that we sold these 40 ounces of Budweiser, and I was like, whatever, I'm 21, fuck it. And I bought it for my birthday because we worked overnights and shit. Yeah. And I went home and I drank the whole thing within maybe an hour, and I got so nauseous and I just threw up 30 minutes later. And then I thought, I am never drinking because this is what happens when you drink. Well, I've been drinking casually for the better part of a decade now, and I've really not really wrecked myself in any sort of way. I don't drink liquor. That was a problem.
That's the only. I gotta drink the hard shit. That's the only time. Yeah.
The thing is, speaking of the first time you ever do something, you drink 2 beers and you're fucking drunk. The first time I ever drank liquor, I ended up in the hospital. Wow. So I'm like, okay, I'm cool with never having.
Some of that shit is fucking real bad.
40. I didn't know what anything meant. A friend brought Jack Daniel's 80 proof over, and I was like, all right, cool, and we hung out. And then he went home. I made sure he walked home because he didn't live that far away from me. And I just was we were drinking it mixed with Coke. And I'm like, all right, this is fine. But then towards the end of the night, I had a shot glass. And he had left it here, the thing of fucking liquor. And I'm like, all right, cool, shot. And then next thing I know, I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed. I go to bed. I wake up 10 minutes later, and I'm having the hardest time controlling my arm. Say you want to
fucking terrifying.
Yeah, if you want to reach out and grab something on your desk, you just go boom, you got it in your hand. Well, now I'm like, how do I? Oh my god, it was fucking weird. And I called 911. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but don't sound any sirens or lights or whatever. I'll be outside. And they're like, okay. They brought me in and they just said your body never took this much alcohol in it ever. And you're just going into some sort of shock. And I'm like, all right. Now, keep in mind, guys, I wasn't drinking tons of this shit. This was just a couple glasses over the course of 4 or 5 hours playing video games. And at the end of the night, 1 shot of this 80 proof. Now, I didn't know what that meant. Now I know what it means. People who drink that shit straight, you people are crazy. That is nuts. So I drink light beer now, and I love it. It's great, and it's awesome.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis where you wake up in the middle of a dream and you're fucking paralyzed?
No, never had.
I've had that shit happen to me one time. Like, I think I was 13, and that shit reminded me of what you said happened to you, where you wake up. I literally woke up from a fucking dream, and I could not move any of my body. Like, not even, like, nothing. For, like, probably 20 seconds. And it was fucking horrifying.
Yeah. My friend, I don't know how the hell sleep paralysis is. A friend of mine has it diagnosed as a condition where he does have it. It occurs.
That's fucking awful.
Yeah, but he lives with it. He's had it since he was a little kid. But my other friend, he took like a 5-hour energy, and he'd never taken one before because he needed to stay up for work. He went home, went to sleep, woke up, sleep paralysis. And so he blames it on 5-hour energy. And he's like, it's never happened ever since. But God, was it terrifying. And I'm like, all right.
Just random fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have. I can understand how caffeine could do that to somebody, though. Like that amount, if they're not used to it. I've become really sensitive to caffeine recently. I actually put out a tweet saying, like, I used. Ever since I've been on, like, a bit of a diet, I cut out, like, soda and any sort of, like, sugary caffeine drinks, so I got these caffeine tablets, like, in the fucking, like, pill form, and I try not to ever take them. So ever since I, like, eliminated a bunch of sugar and, like, caffeine from my diet, I've become really sensitive to it again. And yet, a few days ago, I was tired at work, and I took 2 of those tablets, which was what I would normally take, and I was fucking bouncing off the walls.
Yeah. Yep. I did that too a couple years ago. They said, oh, you're at risk for diabetes because it, like, runs in my family. And I'm like, all right, cool. What do I got to do? And they're like, well, just cut out all the sugars from your diet. And then, man, damn, you learn that sugar is in every fucking thing. Everything. Like, my friend was like, just go grab something and look at how much sugar's in it. I'm like, I'm going to go grab the thing I swear to God there is 0 sugar in. And I went
and there's like 10 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah, I went and got Hunt's spaghetti sauce. Just regular, traditional fucking sugar. I'm just like, what? Because I cut out pop, and I don't eat, like, cake or cookies or anything like that. And then you talk about how you get sensitive to it. You guys, if you ever cut this shit out of your diet, smelling sugar will be the most intense thing.
I know.
Ever.
It's crazy.
It's like, you know, it's in the room. You're like,
you ever walk down the Walmart, like, fucking candy aisle, and you can smell it? It's like a weird. It's not a good smell either. Even when I ate a bunch of shit.
It's just so condensed and, like.
Yeah, it's just a weird smell. But yeah, it's crazy that you can smell it like that. Yeah. But yeah, I cut out all that shit. You know, for the most part, I eat, like, just a lot of, like, protein now. It's kind of what I've been doing. Yeah, it's been working pretty well.
I'm not saying I'm on some kind of diet, but I only.
Yeah, I fucking hate talking about it. But, like, it's gotten to the point where, like, I kind of have to, because it's, like, super obvious that I've lost, like, a fucking shitload of weight. Like, that's the first thing you said when you talked to me, like, after I didn't talk to you for whatever. When was the last time we talked? Before I talked to you the most recent time?
Probably, like, right before WildStar. We probably
and the first thing you said is, you lost a shitload of weight. And, like, I try not to talk about it because, like, it's super douchey. Whenever, like, oh, I'm on this diet and doing all this shit. It's, like, super fucking gay to talk about.
Or that shit where I'm a gamer who gains. Hey, do you have to really tell me that? Just
like the health, like, yeah, that's what I did. Like, I didn't tell anybody I was losing weight on my YouTube channel or any of that shit. And then finally, it got to the point where it's like, dude, you've lost a lot of weight. Like, so I did talk about it, but I've lost a shitload of weight. Had to get some new pants because my other ones were like goddamn clown pants. Looked like the fucking, like, a blood coming out of Compton with those motherfuckers on. It got ridiculous. So yeah, I still got a little bit to go.
And it's a challenging thing to actually eat decently because we've gotten very little access.
See, I've found a lot of stuff that is easy for me to stay on course. Like, I think I'll be able to sustain this just because I still eat a lot of fast food. Believe it or not, I just don't drink the sodas. I don't eat the sugar. The sugar is the thing I completely eradicated. You know, I eat the same thing for dinner every night, though, which a lot of people would think, like, that gets fucking old, but I eat the bro foods, is what they call them, like the chicken and rice and that kind of shit. The bodybuilding food that's
a good food to eat before you go to sleep is cottage cheese.
Yeah, because
it's a protein. It's a protein, but it breaks down slowly while you're sleeping. So you get your protein. You're not losing it because you're asleep, even though you do eat your chicken. But it breaks down slower than most other proteins that you would normally.
But yeah, it's fucking. Oh shit! Go ahead. I just cut you off epically.
No. What I was saying about the whole, we're bombarded with so much shit when you're trying to be on a diet, and it's worse here where I live because we don't even have like a Whole Foods. I have no choice but to shop at Walmart, where the chicken there is just like slaughtered and all this other shit, and you're just
dude,
what kind of GMOs are in this chicken? You know?
Yeah. See, the thing with me is like I don't eat healthy. Like I think I've lost close to 100 fucking pounds, believe it or not. Which is kind of fucking crazy because like I felt like I wasn't that goddamn fat, but I guess when you're 6'5", it just, you know, you got places to store it. So
yeah.
But I don't eat healthy. That's the thing. I just eat less. And to be honest, like people demonize fast food, but like looking at like the calories and like macronutrients and shit, it really isn't that fucking bad. Like for example, like I'll go to Taco Bell and literally get 5 fucking tacos. Because I normally don't eat breakfast on the weekends because I sleep in kind of late. So when I wake up, it's like 11 anyway. So I just eat lunch and dinner. And I'll eat like 5 tacos. And then for dinner, I eat like the chicken breasts. I'll eat like a whole fucking shitload of those, by the way. If you didn't know, you can eat like 7 chicken breasts. And it's only like, you know, a very minuscule amount of calories for how much food it is. There's a few foods like that with like chicken and eggs. Like if you try to eat like 600 calories in eggs, that's a lot of fucking eggs.
Yep.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing like a lot of like high protein and a lot of foods that are like really filling. And it's worked really well. And I think I'll be able to maintain it pretty easily just because it's not hard right now.
Yeah. Once I can afford it, I'm going to have spinach for breakfast, eggs and spinach. Oh no, I know it tastes like shit, but what it does for your body is rather great. Like kale too. Kale's really good.
Yeah. See, what I do is I eat this fucking feminine ass Special K cereal that's got like a shitload of protein in it. And this is what I'm saying. Like I found a bunch of foods that like the texture of them for whatever reason just fills you up. And this cereal, if you eat it dry, it tastes fine. It tastes good. And I just eat it dry. And for whatever reason, that fucking cereal, like I'll eat like, I guess it's probably like 500 calories worth of cereal. But it's like a lot of fucking cereal. And I eat it, and for whatever reason, man, I get a little bit hungry like an hour coming into lunch. But then after that, I'm fine. I eat lunch, I'm fine. And then I eat a big fucking dinner that consists of like a shitload of grilled chicken that I fucking microwave because I'm lazy as fuck.
I luckily have a George Foreman grill. People who live in my apartment complex are fucking stupid. They throw away perfectly good working tools, like a George Foreman grill. Now,
those things are pretty awesome.
The picture is of Dontain jumping into a dumpster, but like that's not what I did. They just like kind of like leave them on the side, you know. They're not allowed to throw something like that straight into the dumpster. But it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like seriously? So I use the grill. It works fine. It lies about how the grease just comes right off. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
It's an electric grill. It works. Fuck you, George Foreman, you liar.
See, with me, like I think a lot of my success is that I eat the same fucking thing, like the same few things all the time. So it's really easy for me to keep track of like how many calories I'm eating, because like, for example, if I go to Taco Bell, I generally get like 4 or 5 tacos. And I know that that's like 800 to 1,000 calories. And if I go to fucking McDonald's, I get the number 4, just the burger, and I know that's fucking 800 calories. It's really easy when you eat the same shit. And it doesn't bother me to eat the same shit either. So I guess that's my superpower. And I did that shit when I was eating unhealthy too. There was one day I ate at fucking Hardee's, got the same goddamn thing every day for like 3 fucking months.
Jeez.
The shit's good as fuck though. Have you ever been to Hardee's?
Yeah,
dude,
we have Carl's Jr. up here.
Oh, really? I thought that was only a West Coast where they rebranded it. But have you ever gotten the Monster Burger?
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, I swear to God. You know how big that thing is, right?
Yes.
That's a huge fucking burger. So this is what I'd do. I'd get 2 of those I'd get a large Monster Burger combo, large fry, large soda, and then I'd get another Monster Burger. And I'd eat all of that. Dude, you know how much food that is. The large fry and 2 of those motherfuckers and the soda. That was literally like 3,000, 4,000 calories in one meal.
Yeah.
And then I'd eat dinner. And maybe even breakfast. It was ridiculous.
I've definitely done that as dudes of our stature. I've done the whole, I'll get this meal combo, but then another one of those sandwiches. I don't do it anymore, but yeah, that's this was the last time I ever actually knowingly and willingly ate something that I knew was not really great for me. Was during 4th of July. Hardee's had the all-American thick burger, and it was I remember it was just a big burger, had bacon and cheese and everything, but it had a hot dog cut in half and put on top.
Oh yeah, I think I remember
on the very top part of the meat part, and I was like, I gotta try it. Tried it, loved it, ate it again for the next 5 days, and then I was like, this has to stop.
Yeah, see, for me personally, I don't feel as guilty for eating unhealthy stuff, but there's a difference. I guess it's some weird fat logic that I have in my fucking brain. But I don't feel guilty for eating a cheeseburger, but if I eat something like ice cream that I know is just there's nothing there. Like if I work out and I eat ice cream afterwards, that's not going to build muscle. Whereas if I eat a burger, there's some fucking carbs and carbs and protein and some good shit in there that can actually stimulate some muscle growth. There's actually some nutritional value there, even though there's probably a lot of fat and bullshit too. Yeah. But I definitely don't eat that healthy, though. I think a lot of people think that, oh, he must be eating, fucking broccoli and shit. And I'm looking right beside me, and there's literally 5 fucking Taco Bell bags with 25 taco wrappers.
Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of it is just eating less food.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I think if anybody can find, shit that they know they can eat that, works for them, then that's all it is. All it is the fucking caloric deficit. You got to eat less calories than you fucking consume existing.
And if you do work out or lift weights, that's even better. But believe it or not, as a guy who does not exercise, I've lost weight by just not drinking soda and fucking eating less food.
That's 90% of it. But I've been lifting and stuff. Yeah, soda is a real fucking no-go. Yeah,
I go for walks. I take the dog on nice leisurely strolls, and I know I'm a big tall fat fuck. Yeah, and I sweat because I walk. I get it. I understand it. I'm okay with that. But I know at the end of the day, I did that walk is a lot better than me not doing that every single day. So, health podcast.
Yeah, the health podcast. I hate fucking talking about it because it's so douchey. It's just
we're so much better than you fat
people. I lost so much weight. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels fucking good as shit when people compliment me on it. It's just damn, I legit met a guy in high school today that I used to go to high school with. He literally didn't even fucking recognize me.
Really?
I went up and I talked to him. I was like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, hey. It was real awkward. And then he's like, holy shit. Yeah, he literally didn't even fucking recognize me. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see. It's one of those things where I didn't think I would get to this weight just because I assumed if I got to this weight, I'm not going to be fat anymore. It's oh shit, I'm a bigger fat fuck than I thought. So I'm definitely getting close to where I'm gonna be pretty goddamn lean. I think with me at the end of the day, when it comes down to a health goal, is I know I'm never gonna be that guy who loses all the fat and you can see abs and stuff like that. See, I'm kind of getting there. I'm not there yet. I've still got a lot of weight to lose, but I'm getting there. If I flex, I'm oh shit, I can see them. Kinda.
Yeah. I mean, what I mean is abs. Getting visual abs is seriously hardcore workout mentality. But I can see myself looking like a normal person with a little bit of fat here and there, but a lot smaller and a lot less heavy than what I am now. So because I wouldn't be doing this to be superficial. I'm doing this so that I can live longer.
Oh, dude, I'm superficial as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie.
Believe me, I do want to look attractive and for the ladies and shit, but
my whole thing, I was very realistic with the whole reason I started. I had a feeling I was not going to be doing the YouTube thing and the streaming thing full time anymore, and I was like, I'm a fucking slob. I'm going into the real world with my real fucking job that I start in a month. I better start, taking this shit a little seriously because everybody judges everybody, and if you look good, generally things are going to go in your favor a little more. And decided to start getting in shape a little bit. And Yeah, I think I'll be able to look pretty good here pretty soon, just because I found something that's easy. Like what I'm doing right now, I don't consider to be like crazy hard that takes lots of discipline, just because I've found some shit. Like I found a few foods that I just know I can eat that like just fill me up like crazy. So,
yep. And then it's just the discipline of, I mean, yeah, have I drank soda since I officially said quote unquote quit? Yeah. I mean, if I'll go out to a restaurant and I get a Dr. Pepper or something. But the habit that I broke, and I think this is with pretty much everybody who drinks a lot of soda, is when I go to the grocery store, I don't fucking buy it. And it's not, it doesn't exist in my fridge.
Plus, you save a lot of money too. That's another thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot of money. But, you know, and you get used to that after a while. Like I said, with the whole sugar thing, smelling it and knowing it's around. I had lunch with my mom, like, I don't know, last week, not last week, a month ago. And she's like, oh, you want to get a piece of pie? I'm like, no, of course I don't want to get a piece of pie. What the fuck is wrong with you? See, my mom's had diabetes for a long time. And she's like, well, we should get this Reese's peanut butter cup tasting pie. And it has like a Reese's peanut butter cup like on the top, like if it were a cherry. And I'm like, Mom, you can order it and you can eat it. I'm not going to eat it.
See, so my thing was never like, when I played football, I was never like, I was a fucking really good athlete back when I was like really into football. That's kind of the way I am. I'm like a little bit obsessive about shit. Like for example, like when I started losing weight, I didn't start losing weight to just get smaller. Like I wanted to be like, all right, if I'm gonna do this shit, I'm gonna fucking go all the way and be pretty fucking hardcore and get lean. And the same thing went with like football. If I'm gonna play football, I'm gonna be the fucking best at it. If I'm gonna play WildStar, I'm literally gonna be the fucking guy that's getting the #1 DPS parses in the world for shit. So I've always been like that. But when I played football, I eat a shitload of food because I played defensive tackle and defensive end, and big guy but fast. And you know, I still avoided the soda though. Like I've never been a thing with like sugar for me. It's never been an issue. Like I didn't drink soda at all when I played football. Like literally none ever. And I've never been
because it's dehydrating you. You wouldn't be able to fucking do half the shit you. But
my whole issue was always just the food. Like for example, before I started like counting calories, like I went on a half-assed diet one time. I've really only attempted to like lose weight one other time. And I would eat this salad thinking that I was like doing really well. Like I'm eating this salad. This is healthy, right? And I wasn't putting a lot of ranch dressing on it or anything like that. I was just eating so much of it. Like I was grazing. I was like a fucking cow. I would eat just like tons of just fucking salad, just like literally the fucking vegetables. But I'd eat so much of it. Like I'm talking fucking like pounds. Like disgusting amounts. And obviously, like any diet that's like tells you can eat as much of this as you want, not if you're me. No, that was my whole issue. And then once I started actually like controlling the fucking portion size and my stomach shrank down to like non-retarded levels, I was like,
that's another thing.
This is what it feels like. It did suck dick for the first like few weeks. I'm definitely gonna say that because my stomach wasn't like shrunk yet, so I was hungry as fuck, and I was doing all this shit to trick myself into not being hungry. Like I was drinking like tons of water, and I'd eat soup, and soup's another one of those things. Like if you ever looked at like the calories on a thing of soup, it's like the Campbell's chunky soup is like 150 calories or some shit, and if you eat that shit, you're full as fuck. So I did all this shit to like trick myself into like not being hungry, and it worked. And now I actually eat like a regular person, and it's not hard.
You know, a good trick for tricking your brain into thinking that you're not hungry when you're actually hungry, and you just can't eat just now. You can eat like an hour from now or whatever.
I chew gum.
Chew gum.
Yep.
Gum,
dude, I go.
goes...
Yeah, the gum is. I chew a shitload of gum too. If fucking the green stride gum gives you cancer, then I've already got it.
Yeah, but I didn't know that, and I was like, "That's bullshit. That's just some."
Oh no, it's fucking real.
Wives' tales thing. And then I started doing it.
Dude, I chew so much gum.
This is great.
I guess I should have mentioned that, but
that whole stomach shrinking part too, that's real too, because your brain is thinking you're hungry because there's nothing in your stomach, but it's like, yeah, but the stomach is, you know, it's used to having so much
that
food
shit
in it.
sucked. That was like legit like fucking hunger pains. Like I don't think a lot of like non-fat people realize that that's a thing. Yeah. Of like, oh yeah, those first few weeks do suck ass. But yeah, no, I got over that. Now I'm good. Anyway,
Health
you got any
tips.
Yeah, we've fucking rambled on this for a while. You got anything you want to pitch? You got any topics you want to talk about, or?
Nope, not really. I'm gonna definitely find some stuff to talk about next week, though.
I'm looking through my list to see if there's anything else we want to hit on.
Well, we've been going nearly 3 hours, we just passed 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if we missed anything really good. I could probably save some of this for next week. It's not like super time oriented.
And like I told you before, I have a lot to say about pro wrestling, but I'm not going to talk about pro wrestling.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't give a fuck about pro wrestling.
Yeah, I can't be like, your fucking Roman Reigns go to TLC against Sheamus. Like,
dude, that's one of those things, man.
Shut the fuck up, Dontain.
You have to have lived in that era to give a fuck about pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, well I watched.
Like, are there that many new pro wrestling fans? Like, I feel like there's just not.
There's WWE Pro Wrestling is now very much a PG company, so a lot of what you see is not as violent, and a lot of the characters appeal to a lot of people: women, kids, men, teens. So in that sense, I kind of dislike it because I watched pro wrestling in the Attitude Era with like Stone Cold Steve Austin flipping people off, and there was blood, and like you could have hardcore matches, and Mick Foley getting thrown off a Hell in the Cell, and crazy shit, and The Rock, and so. But I stopped watching for about 6 years because I was like, yeah, whatever. I got shit to do, and then I came back to it, 2013ish. I was like, these new characters and shit. I'm like, oh, this is great. Yes, but it's really boring.
I just can't break that wall of like just thinking it's dumb. Like, I'm one of those people that looks at it, and I'm like one of like the 90% of people that look at it and just go, "That's fucking stupid." Like, what?
It's suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, I just really can't do it.
It's really hard to have unless you have to choose to be.
I feel like you have to have grown up. I feel like most people, they had to have seen it as a kid, to where like they have to have lived it when, like, in that time period of when it was magical for them, then to be able to suspend the disbelief.
Well, yeah, and people like myself who watch it, and I don't just watch WWE. I watch Ring of Honor. I watch Outback. Any other sort of indie promotions that are very, very smaller companies compared to WWE. They have awesome matches where guys are doing very risky shit, but you have to know you're being entertained. Like, this is a soap opera where people fake fight each other in a ring.
I definitely appreciate the athleticism of those dudes, but like the whole like where the managers come out in their suits doing all this cheesy shit, and it's just I just can't do it.
A lot of the stereotypical things you might have heard or saw.
Every time I see it, I just cringe. That's a lot of
that stuff doesn't happen anymore. But like, just some of the storyline related shit for people like me who we're called smart marks, where we kind of know the insides and the ins and outs.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like like there's a lot of smart people that really fucking like that shit. So it's like it's just a weird thing.
And I'm not implying that if you whatever smart or dumb. I'm just saying we're called smart marks, where we know that it is pro wrestling. We know that it is sports entertainment. We know that it is
there's people that think that shit's real. They're like,
little kids do. I mean, certain characters are like over the top, and there's
I thought you meant like there was like full blown adults that were like, can you believe this shit?
What I mean is, again, it's suspension of disbelief. It's an ability that we as pro wrestling fans have that people like you don't have. It's fake fighting. I know it's fake fighting. The difference is I'm entertained by it. I like watching good storytelling within this genre.
It's not the fake fighting that gets me. It's the storytelling that I think is dumb.
And when it's dumb, it's dumb. But when it's good, it's fucking great. Like the Daniel Bryan story leading up to WrestleMania 30 was fucking awesome. Ever since that, we've had shit story after shit story, and this character's a coward. This guy's a bitch. There's a thing in WWE called the Money in the Bank. It's a pay-per-view that happens in like April. If you win the match, where you climb up and you grab a briefcase,
whoever they decide wins the match.
Well, right. What? See, that's the thing. Like, I can talk about it like that.
Yeah,
I don't feel that.
That's where I was like, it loses me.
But we do know that it's a predetermined thing. So there's a character named Sheamus. He's like this giant, pale, ginger guy from Ireland, and he really is from Ireland. And he won the Money in the Bank. So what the Money in the Bank is, you can cash the briefcase in for a chance at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship anytime you want. Normally, these guys will hold on to it for either a really short time or a really long period of time. Well, we as smart fans were like, Sheamus is the guy? So this guy's eventually going to be world champion, and we don't think it'll be a good run and the story will suck. Well, they just had a match where they did a tournament, and this character named Roman Reigns, who is this guy who just looks like a jacked up, really cool dude, and he won. And everyone's like, we don't want him to win because you're trying to turn him into the next John Cena. And everybody hates John Cena. But he won. And then there was confetti, and he's like all holding the belt, crying and shit, like, I can't believe it, I finally won the title, because he's been chasing it for like a year and a half. Yeah, and then what the fuck happens? Here comes fucking Sheamus, and boom, kicks him in the face and wins the belt back from him. Or he wins the belt off of him. So now a cool thing that's happening is that this guy we don't like, who won the title fair and square, was only champion for 5 minutes and 15 seconds, and now we get to berate him and go, Roman 515, you're a fucking piece of shit. Meanwhile, the champion is Sheamus, and everyone fucking hates Sheamus. So as far as storylines and stuff go, so right now wrestling's kind of shitty, but that's why. See what I mean?
I'm curious. I'm gonna let's do a quick poll here. How many of the podcast listeners think wrestling is awesome, and how many people think it's dumb? And I like shit that people don't like, so I'm not trying to like shit on your fucking hobby or whatever.
And it's not.
It's just like I just can't do it. I just can't fucking do it. It's just so cringe. Like that guy running into the ring, what you just described right there, and kicking that guy in the face. It's just like some people like would see that and go, "That's fucking awesome." I see that, I'm just like, oh.
Well,
it's so cheesy.
When it happened, it's called a swerve in the business. When it happened, I was like, this is great. But it's the lesser of two evils. You know, no one was like, holy shit, he's doing it right now. Like, last year's WrestleMania was Brock Lesnar, a real fucking MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Versus Roman Reigns. And when Brock Lesnar wrestles for WWE, he doesn't wrestle all that often nowadays. But when he wrestles, he doesn't wrestle. He beats the shit out of people. Like, yeah, he suplexes guys, but they're not like those suplexes where like, okay, boom, we're going to do this maneuver. Both of us are in on this maneuver. No, he just grabs dudes and throws them. And he actually hurts these people. He breaks ribs and shit.
Yeah, that dude's a fucking freak.
Yeah. And so they had a match. Brock was the champion. Roman was the challenger. And Brock, what the hell happened? The match didn't end. Both men were down from like getting beat up, fighting each other and shit. And I think Brock was bleeding or whatever. And then Seth Rollins, the guy who had the Money in the Bank, comes running out to the ring, cashes in, and he pins Roman Reigns to win the title off of Brock Lesnar. So now you have this storytelling where Brock's mad because he's not champ, but he wasn't pinned.
He loses me, man. That's where it loses me.
That's the exciting shit.
Yeah, if that's the exciting shit, then there's no hope for me.
Right, but see, they're glad that certain people don't watch it. But the thing is, there's a difference between sports entertainment and pro wrestling. So like Ring of Honor puts on a great show in little small arenas around the country, and they do maneuvers, they do shit in that ring, and you just go, what the fuck? NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, those guys.
I can understand the like spectacle of seeing people like slam each other. I definitely get that, but the story part is the part that loses me.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just like, you know, because you know it's a story, so there's no way to like dig into it and go, well, why didn't this happen? Why doesn't he do that? Well, it's because it's all basically a predetermined fake fight in a ring. But yeah, so see, that's why I don't bring it up, because it's like now I'm talking, and it's almost like I'm by myself. I'm on an island by myself.
Yeah, because I just it's not my thing. It is interesting to get that perspective, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about the whole San Bernardino shit, but like, what is there to say?
What is it?
You don't know about that?
Dude,
fucking another extreme Muslim fucking dude just like went and shot up a bunch of people with disabilities in California.
Oh really?
You didn't see it, dude? That's like everywhere. Just go to CNN.
I digest my news probably 2 days.
Killed at a holiday party. All 14 San Bernardino. Yeah, pretty sure this dude was like radical Islam. I'm just gonna come out a fucking guess. Let's just Control F Islam.
Now have an image.
Oh, what do you know? There it is.
Right, we've been able to confirm just moments ago.
What do you fucking?
Control F
what do you fucking know?
Control F ISIS.
Yeah, dude, this shit is fucking absurd.
It's getting to the. I mentioned this when you.
Dude,
brought
it's
up
not even a surprise. Like we're sitting here, like, well, whatever. Control F Islam. Oh, yep, there it is. Exactly where I expected.
We brought this up in the last podcast when you told me about the kid, the black guy that was on drugs or whatever, and they shot him 20 times. and I had mentioned the fact that shit like this happens so often now that we're just being conditioned to go, okay, whatever.
It's crazy, man. It's so fucking crazy.
But like now France, France gets bombed in like all these multiple locations in Paris, right? And we as Americans, for the majority of us, we're thinking like, yeah, France, now you know how it fucking feels. Now you know why we do our weird shit.
What's fucked up is when I heard the France shit that didn't like rustle my fucking jimmies like it did for some people. I saw that, I was like, oh, well, yeah, I was, it's been a while since that happened, but here it comes.
When you have these crazy fucks out there in the world who want to bomb places, eventually where you live will be bombed. And you want to sit. I'm not saying France has any policy saying that we shouldn't do this and the United States shouldn't do that. We should keep our fucking hands out of certain shit. I don't know their policy. But anybody out there who's like, America, you guys have too much of a reach. You guys are fucking around in countries that you shouldn't be fucking around in. Oh, yeah? Well, when your goddamn town gets bombed, you can come to us and ask us what do you think that you should do. Because your ass is going to go after them. They sent jets over there like within the hour, man. That's crazy. So now they're, whatever.
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, I hate hearing about this shit, but,
Yeah, apparently these people were disabled or something? Like, wow, it's pretty fucked up. Yep. So I was gonna, there's nothing else to say. It's just like, if this happened like once every year, then maybe we'd have something to say. But now it happens like once every fucking like week. It's like, oh, it's the weekly fucking massacre. Turn on the news.
At least we have hot teacher fucks 16-year-old student stories to talk about to take away from all the bombings,
all the negativity. Yeah, at least she got let off the hook.
Sheamus and Triple H taking my brain off of this ISIS shit. No, actually, it's gonna be hella Rocket League taking my mind off of this ISIS shit.
All right, well, if you want to end it here, then we can. I don't really have anything like super pressing. I was going to talk about this EVE Online bullshit, but I don't know if I could tell the story very well.
If you don't think you can talk about it without like stumbling over it, we could just figure more out about it. Talk about it.
Oh no, I know about it. Basically, a guild in EVE Online. I'm sure you're familiar with the crazy stories that happen on EVE.
I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So. There's the Goon Squad. I'm sure you've heard of them, right?
I've heard of Goon Squad, but I don't know.
Goon Squad is this giant guild, essentially, of like tons of people. And they are making this book. They have a Kickstarter campaign because they want to write this book talking about all the crazy shit that happened in EVE Online. So, in an effort to try to promote this book, they went out and like attacked a bunch of people to try to just stir up some controversy to help the Kickstarter get some like money and help raise some money through that means. So another guild said, like, basically trolled the shit out of them and was like, yeah, we fucking hate you guys. We're coming in strong and we're gonna defend our territory because they were gonna like come and try to take their shit. So speed things up, they talk all this shit and they leak out this plant. So the guild leader of the guild that's not Goon Squad, the guild that Goon Squad's gonna attack, basically leaks out this fake information saying that they've got a ton of people and they're gonna kick Goon Squad's ass, and they intentionally leak it over to them. Well, Goon Squad comes out and brings 40,000 fucking people to this place, and the other guild isn't even there. They don't even show up. They trolled them the entire time. So 40,000 people show up to this fucking spot, and no one is there. And their Kickstarter just like didn't go anywhere. They got trolled, and all their like members are pissed off because they all rallied and woke up at like 2 in the fucking morning or whatever to go and do this thing. And there's 40,000 people that just got trolled.
That sounds funny, but I mean, you need a Kickstarter to write a fucking book, really? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Things get really muddy when people try to monetize like what their video game success. It can get real fucked up. Like, especially if they do it outside of like YouTube and Twitch, like the natural like kind of ways to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to probably look at the Kickstarter, and like some of the shit might make sense why they need to have a Kickstarter, but
they hired a professional writer. That's why.
But you don't need to hire a professional writer.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
You can hire a ghostwriter, and they'll charge you less.
But yeah, it is interesting to see. I think they wanted to raise like 150. Let me try to find the Kickstarter. They wanted to raise like 150 grand, and they only raised like 18 or something. Like they're not even close.
My dad's written a book. He self-published it, and my dad's not even a writer.
Really? What was it about?
There's some stories and shit, like life stories about what he did as a kid. And these are stories that I've heard because he's used them
a million times.
He's used them to teach me like critical lessons and stuff. But my parents have been divorced ever since I was a little kid, so I only get to see my dad like when I was seeing him, I was only seeing him like 2 weeks in the summer. And so he'd tell me stories about like I was in a gang once and we didn't shoot anybody, but one day, Brandon brought a gun and he's like, we're gonna rob somebody, and that's when I got out of the gang and I learned a lesson about that. And it's like that as a story, but just like stretched out with like all the details. And that's it. That's a book about a bunch of dumb, stupid stories for you to learn from. It's like, and it self-published probably cost him a couple $100.
Well, that's still pretty cool. Did he actually sell it like pretty well, or?
I don't know the details of how it sold. All I told him was if he needed to have like a social presence, a Facebook and a Twitter and stuff to sort of wrap that social presence around that book, I would help him with that because he's like 68 years old. Yep, the old train's coming.
I remember I used to live by the train tracks. Shit, I was like right beside it. In the middle of all my videos.
I'm glad I don't live next to the train tracks. It's just I live far enough away to where they sit there and they go like the whole fucking time.
I know, right? It's like, really, you didn't get your fucking point across the first like 8 times you honked?
See, and I don't know if any of y'all out there are like a train driver, an engineer. But
Can you just do that shit like twice?
I thought you were supposed to just do it when you're approaching any sort of road crossing. You just go and then and I get it. If I have to hear it multiple times because you're crossing streets, I get that. I'm not kidding. 1 to 2 times a month, one of these assholes will just go through town. We'll go through town,
lays on
and just hold it the whole way through. And I'm just like, is this guy bored? Is he just hates his job?
I guess if you're just sitting on a fucking train all day, like, how boring must that job be? Just to fucking sit on a train. Because surely it can't be that. Like, at least if you're driving a truck, you're like steering and, doing other like something like what with a train. What, like, maybe there's more to it that I just don't know.
Train engineers are dumb. They just sit there and.
But I feel like you just hit the fucking go button. I feel like as a train operator, all you're there to do is just hit the fucking go button and make sure nothing bad happens. Like
there's just a giant button. It says go.
Like and then there's a go button and a stop button. and if some crazy shit is on the tracks, you hit the fucking stop button. But other than that, you're just like, all right, I'm standing here, sitting here.
No wonder I never see like now hiring for train engineers. The job is so easy.
Yeah, shit.
They're all taken.
All right, well, that's about all I've got. And unless you've got something you wanna hit on, this has definitely been longer than usual, but I think we've just been flowing. So
fucking New Day rocks, tag team champions.
I didn't even know you were talking about there for a second.
You have no idea. I have nothing. I got nothing. But yeah, enjoy the podcast. Hope you loved it. Don't forget to hit up the links if you're hearing us outside of the YouTube channel, which is something we should probably start doing soon. Probably we get like a SoundCloud or some nonsense. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that much work to just slap it up there. And,
I'm just curious if any I don't think there's maybe there's a demand for it. I don't know.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? If we're going fishing for people and they find us and they go, this is a cool podcast, then there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are listening outside of the YouTube channel, check out the links. You got the Zybax channel, Zybax Twitter. What is it, @ZybackTV?
Yeah, that shit's plastered on the video, but the entire time.
people probably are just listening while they're gaming. So go ahead and don't forget to go check out at Dontain, Dontain, and YouTube channel, the same damn thing.
Yeah, or you just look at the video screen and it's there. So, yeah, I guess that's Hive Mind episode 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And, yeah, see ya.
See ya.
If you made it this far, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out a lot, and selling out ain't easy, and I'm only in this for the money, so be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, even if you hate it. Fuck you, just tell me to go fuck myself. Leave a comment. None of you motherfuckers comment, and it irritates the shit out of me, so leave a comment, like, subscribe, and share it with your friends on Facebook and Twitter, because I gotta get paid.